Lin Jing and Yuan, following Elder Qi, left the tower-like high building and continued walking toward the inner city. In the inner city, there were many buildings, yet unlike the shops outside, these buildings generally occupied a large area. Because it was the inner city, there were very few people along the way, and the three of them only encountered a handful of people. When these people saw Elder Qi from afar, they immediately greeted him respectfully with clasped hands. However, Elder Qi ignored their greetings and continued walking forward at a fast pace. Elder Qi moved quickly. Lin Jing and Yuan, in order not to fall behind, dared not slow down and closely followed him. The people, seemingly aware of Elder Qi's disposition, did not delay after greeting him, but continued with their own tasks. Soon, under the guidance of Elder Qi, they arrived at a vast hall. Above the entrance of the hall hung a black plaque inscribed with the words Elixir Alliance Examination Hall. As soon as the three of them entered the hall, a middle-aged cultivator inside saw Elder Qi and hurriedly came forward. "Elder Qi, why have you come today?" Elder Qi, pointing at Lin Jing and Yuan, said, "These two are here to participate in the membership examination. Prepare a set of 7th grade and 1." At this point, Elder Qi looked at Yuan and asked, "What rank are you now as a pill master?" Yuan quickly replied, "Senior, 6th grade." Elder Qi nodded and then continued, "One set of 7th grade and another set of 6th grade pill master examination materials." The middle-aged cultivator, upon hearing Elder Qi's words, could not help but reveal a surprised expression as he looked at Lin Jing and Yuan. Both Lin Jing and Yuan seemed quite young, yet each bore extraordinary stature. Their mastery of alchemy, Tao, surpassed one another. Especially Lin Jing, who was so young, yet already a 7th grade alchemist. It is known that advancing even a single rank as an alchemist is extremely difficult, especially in the later stages, due to the scarcity of high-grade spiritual plants, making the advancement of an alchemist all the more challenging. Therefore, even within the Elixir Alliance, there are not many young 7th grade alchemists. Those 7th grade alchemists each spend a considerable amount of time accumulating their skills gradually. Other than those backed by extraordinary forces and possessing exceptional alchemic talent, the 7th grade alchemists were either white-haired old men or middle-aged cultivators like him. Seeing the two young men, he assumed both must come from sects or noble families with extraordinary backing. The middle-aged cultivator, who was almost always in this examination hall, saw much and was very confident in his speculations. Of course, his guess was almost always correct without much error. Knowing Elder Qi's disposition, he did not ask further questions but directly clasped his hands and said to Elder Qi, "Elder Qi, please wait a moment. I'll go fetch the materials." With that, the middle-aged cultivator turned and walked toward the back of the hall from the left side. Just then, Elder Qi spoke up again. "Right. Don't forget to tell them the rules of the examination." "Yes, Elder Qi," the middle-aged cultivator responded, and then proceeded to the back of the hall. It wasn't long before the middle-aged cultivator reappeared from the back of the hall and came directly to Lin Jing and Yuan. Then, he handed over 2 packages to Lin Jing and Yuan respectively. As Lin Jing and Yuan received their packages, the middle-aged cultivator began. "These are the alchemy ingredients you will need for your examination. 7th grade Qingming pills and 6th grade condensing spirit pills. Both of these elixir medicines are fairly common in 7th and 6th grades. Their materials are not difficult to find, so I assume both of you have crafted them before. This membership examination requires you to refine the given materials into elixirs within 8 hours. Moreover, the elixirs you produce must include either 1 supreme elixir or 2 superior elixirs. If you achieve this, you will be considered successful. Otherwise, it's a failure. Given your status, this shouldn't be too difficult." Hearing this, Yuan couldn't help but click his tongue. Producing a supreme or 2 superior elixirs from a single furnace is indeed no simple task. Lin Jing looked at Changyan Yuanlei and said, "These should be manageable for you, I presume." Changyan Yuanlei nodded and replied, "Yes, I am quite confident." At that moment, Elder Qi spoke. "I will be overseeing your examination this time. If I notice any anomalies during your alchemy process, I will intervene immediately. At that point, your examination will be considered a failure and both of you will be expelled from the Elixir Alliance immediately, regardless of your connections to the Grand Elder. Do you understand?" Upon hearing this, Lin Jing and Changyan Yuanlei quickly said, "Rest assured, Elder Qi, we will surely not engage in any abnormal activities." Elder Qi nodded and then said to the two, "All right, follow me. Let's begin the examination." The two nodded and followed Elder Qi, walking toward the back of the hall from the right side. Following Elder Qi, they entered the back of the hall, passed through a long corridor, and then arrived at an even larger hall. This hall was semicircular, divided into an outer and inner circle, with the outer circle consisting of rooms separated by formations. Inside the Great Hall's inner circle was a high platform wrapped within a formation. This platform was densely covered with formation patterns that extended from the platform to the entirety of the hall, reaching into the rooms on the periphery. The rooms, cordoned off at the periphery, were all the same. Each contained a pill furnace. With just a glance, Lin Jing understood clearly. These rooms were individual alchemy rooms. Next, Elder Qi pointed at 2 rooms ahead and said to Lin Jing and Changyan Yuanlei, "Each of you choose a room. Once you enter, the formation will activate, and you can begin alchemy. All right, during alchemy, you may use your own pill furnace." Lin Jing and Changyan Yuanlei both nodded, and then each walked towards one of the rooms. After they entered the rooms, Elder Qi had already moved to the platform in the middle. Shortly after, the formation that covered the entire hall began to activate, and the white light emitted from the formation spread from under Elder Qi's feet. Soon, it permeated the whole hall, as well as the rooms where Lin Jing and Changyan Yuanlei were enclosed. With the activation of the formation, their alchemy had officially started. Lin Jing, unruffled, immediately took out a package and opened it. Various spirit plants inside caught his eye instantly. These spirit plants were all for the concoction of the Qingming pill. Lin Jing then picked them out one by one to inspect. After the inspection, Lin Jing couldn't help but nod in approval. All the spirit plants were in good condition, and their quality was commendable. After checking the spirit plants, Lin Jing took out the cloud-patterned purple-gold furnace from a space ring and set it in front of him. Once he had set the pill furnace up, Lin Jing did not delay and immediately began operating the Divine Fire Triple Realm, gathering the colorless flame to start the initial refinement of the spirit plants. While both were busy refining spirit plants, Elder Qi looked up, his gaze sweeping across both of them. Elder Qi's gaze lingered when he saw Lin Jing gathering the colorless flame, prompting a soft huff from him as he stared a bit longer. However, it was only for a moment. Then Elder Qi withdrew his gaze and pulled out an elixir recipe, studying it closely. He seemed to pay no attention to the assessment of Lin Jing and Changyan Yuanlei. After starting, Lin Jing and Changyan Yuanlei no longer heeded the external environment and focused intently on refining the spirit plants. Thus, time gradually passed. Lin Jing, Changyan Yuanlei, and Elder Qi really did not disturb each other, each busy with their tasks. Any other person would likely not behave this way, but Elder Qi was different, never once paying attention to Lin Jing and Changyan Yuanlei after the initial start, until veering past 4 hours when rich elixir fragrance wafted from the front alchemy room. Then Elder Qi finally raised his head, looking towards the two. At this moment, Lin Jing was still sitting cross-legged in front of the pill furnace, carefully controlling the bottom flame, while in the other alchemy room, Changyan Yuanlei had already risen, increasing the flames to start the final solidifying pill phase. Lin Jing was concocting a 7th-grade elixir medicine, while Changyan Yuanlei was crafting a 6th-rank elixir medicine. Thus, the time Lin Jing needed to concoct his elixir medicine was naturally longer than Changyan Yuanlei's, and that rich elixir fragrance naturally drifted from Changyun Yuanlei's pill furnace. As time slowly passed, this elixir fragrance grew increasingly potent. In less than half an hour, Changyun Yuanlei's concoction was complete. Having finished crafting the elixir medicine, Changyun Yuanlei packed up the elixir medicine in the pill furnace, causing Elder Qi to deactivate the formation around Changyun Yuanlei's alchemy room. Afterward, Changyun Yuanlei exited and came to Elder Qi's side, passing the elixir medicine to him. Elder Qi received the elixir medicine, inspected it briefly, then nodded to Changyun Yuanlei and said, "Just wait here until he's finished." With that, Elder Qi turned his attention back to Lin Jing, ignoring Changyun Yuanlei. Changyun Yuanlei nodded and stood there obediently, watching Lin Jing, who was still busy with alchemy. When the elixir fragrance wafted through again, it was half an hour later. After 10 hours of concoction, Lin Jing's batch of elixir medicine had also reached its final solidifying pill phase. Lin Jing circulated his cultivation technique to accelerate the flow of spiritual power, making the colorless flame he was condensing even more vigorous. In the furnace, the medicinal liquid that had already merged into a single mass was also starting to take shape, and the elixir fragrance drifting in the air was becoming increasingly rich. About an hour passed, and just as the elixir fragrance grew more intense, filling the entire examination venue, Lin Jing retracted the flame at that moment. Needless to say, by now, Lin Jing's batch of elixir furnace medicine had finally been refined. Next, Lin Jing opened the pill furnace, and instantly, that rich elixir fragrance rushed out overwhelmingly. At the same time, several elixir pills began to slowly rise from within the pill furnace and quickly emerge from it. Seeing this, Lin Jing immediately stretched out his hand. The several elixir pills, as if guided, flew into the palm of Lin Jing's hand. Afterwards, Lin Jing looked into his palm. This batch of elixir produced a total of 6 pills. Among them, 2 were supreme elixir. Just one was enough to indicate that Lin Jing had passed this assessment. But Lin Jing had refined too. He had refined the Qingming pill many times before at the Changyun clan, and his proficiency made it unnecessary to use bonus attachment for cheating. Thus, in this assessment, Lin Jing didn't use the bonus attachment, relying solely on his own true skill. Apart from the 2 supreme elixir, the remaining 4 were 2 superior grade, 1 medium grade, and 1 low grade elixir medicine. In a batch with 2 supreme grade elixir, this production of Qingming pills was considered supremely excellent among 7th grade alchemists. Most 7th grade alchemists could not refine them at all. Only those seasoned alchemists who had been promoted to 7th grade for a significant time and had long been famous could occasionally produce them. After inspecting the elixir pills in his hand, Lin Jing immediately stored them in a jade vial. Having secured the elixir pills, Lin Jing also collected the pill furnace. At this time, the formation in the alchemy room was already open, and Lin Jing, holding the jade vial, walked out of the alchemy room to Elder Qi. Next, Lin Jing passed the jade vial in his hand. Elder Qi took the jade vial, opened it to look inside, then looked deeply at Lin Jing and said, "Not bad. Your mastery in the alchemy Dao is extraordinary. To refine 2 supreme elixir in a single batch is no small feat with your current mastery in the alchemy Dao. There's a good chance you could break through to an 8th grade alchemist within 500 years. Once you break through to the 8th grade, you can become an elder of the Elixir Alliance. I have high hopes for you." Elder Qi's generous praise left Lin Jing somewhat overwhelmed, and he quickly responded modestly, "You flatter me, Elder." Elder Qi then waved his hand and spoke indirectly. "The future will reveal itself in time. For now, both of you have passed the assessment. Come with me." Having said that, Elder Qi left the stage and headed towards the great hall where the 3 had initially entered. Lin Jing and Changyun Yuanlei saw this and quickly followed. Soon, the 3 returned to the great hall, where Elder Qi communicated the results of the assessment to the middle-aged cultivator present earlier, then handed over the elixir medications that Lin Jing and another had produced to him. The middle-aged cultivator took the elixir medications, opened, and inspected them to verify their correctness, and then he pulled out one purple and one blue identity token, each distinct in color. After that, the middle-aged cultivator handed the one purple and one blue tokens to Lin Jing and Chongyun Yuanlei respectively. Lin Jing and the other extended their hands to receive the tokens. At this moment, the middle-aged cultivator spoke to Lin Jing and Chongyun Yuanlei. Congratulations to you both on joining the Elixir Alliance. Afterward, the middle-aged cultivator explained to Lin Jing and Chongyun Yuanlei the history of the Elixir Alliance and how to use the identity token. However, just as the middle-aged cultivator reached the halfway point of his explanation, he was already interrupted by the urgent Elder Qi. I have other matters to attend to, so I won't delay here any longer. Let's leave it here for today. As for the rest, I'll have someone explain it to them in detail after I return. Facing Elder Qi's urging, the middle-aged cultivator had no choice but to respond. If that's the case, then I won't delay Elder Qi's time any further. Having said that, the middle-aged cultivator turned to Lin Jing and said, "Remember, you don't need to refine the identity token before using it. Simply drop blood to recognize the master." Lin Jing and Chongyun Yuanlei nodded. Then, under Elder Qi's prompting, the two followed Elder Qi and left the assessment hall. After leaving the assessment hall, Elder Qi continued to lead Lin Jing and Chongyun Yuanlei deeper into the inner city. As the three of them walked forward, Elder Qi said to them, "The Alliance Hierarch has entrusted you to me, meaning from today onward, I am your mentor, and I also bear the responsibility to instruct you. However, I am usually quite busy and don't have much time to offer guidance. If you encounter any issues, you can jot them down, and I will address them one by one when I am free. If it's truly urgent, you may directly seek the Alliance Hierarch." He also said today that if you encounter any difficulties, you can go to him, freewebble.com. At this point, Elder Qi suddenly stopped, turned around with a stern expression, and told Lin Jing and Chongyun Yuanlei, "You must remember, while I am secluded for researching elixir recipes, no matter what happens, you must not disturb me, or else, regardless of the reason, I will directly expel you from my tutelage. Do you understand?" Upon hearing this, Lin Jing hastily nodded. "Master, please rest assured, we will certainly heed your teachings and will not disturb you." Elder Qi's expression then eased. Subsequently, Elder Qi took out a white jade token, looked at Lin Jing and Chongyun Yuanlei, and said, "All right, I haven't yet asked, what are your names?" Lin Jing promptly bowed and said, "Master, your disciple's name is Lin Jing." Chongyun Yuanlei also bowed and then said, "Master, my name is Chongyun Yuanlei." Elder Qi nodded slightly. Lin Jing, Chongyun Yuanlei. "All right, I've got it." After finishing, Elder Qi continued, "With the two of you, I now have 3 disciples under me, and among these 3, whether it is cultivation or pill master rank, you have the highest. From now on, you'll be their senior brother." Saying this, Elder Qi handed the white jade token to Lin Jing and then said, "This token is my identity token as an elder. Most of the time, I am secluded for the study of elixir recipes and seldom show myself, so I will entrust this token to you. With this identity jade, you will be essentially representing me. Inside the Alliance, it will not only make things more convenient for you, but even when encountering other elders, they will grant you many conveniences. If there is anything within the Alliance or arrangements from the Alliance Hierarch in council meetings, you will represent me. Furthermore, during my seclusion, the teaching of your 2 junior disciples, brother and sister, will also fall to you." Elder Qi's arrangements not only granted Lin Jing the position of senior brother, but also seemed to push all responsibilities onto him. Just after being accepted into the sect, Lin Jing found himself to be the senior brother, not knowing whether to laugh or cry about his situation. However, now that he had joined the Elixir Alliance and was assigned a hands-off mentor like Elder Qi, Lin Jing, while astonished at Elder Qi's peculiar way, had no choice but to accept it. Fortunately, Lin Jing also preferred being alone, and now under Elder Qi, they would not interfere with each other, making Lin Jing feel that it wasn't so bad after all. Except for the junior brother he needed to look after, there was also the junior sister he had not yet met. As for the junior brother, Changyun Yuanlei, that goes without saying. Lin Jing was already quite familiar with him, and he did not need Lin Jing's guidance. It's just that junior sister I haven't met. Thinking this, Lin Jing then asked Elder Qi, Master, as for your other disciple, our junior sister, may I ask where she is from and what is her pill master rank? Elder Qi replied, She's from the Western Demon region and has followed me for several decades. She is now a 6th grade alchemist, just like Changyun Yuanlei. Upon hearing Western Demon region, Lin Jing's heart skipped a beat, and he couldn't help but think, the Western Demon region could be her. Meanwhile, Elder Qi seemed not to notice Lin Jing's reaction and continued to speak. I've already informed her, and she is waiting in my cave dwelling now. Afterward, I will first take you to my cave dwelling. When you meet, get acquainted with each other, and then have her arrange the cave dwelling for you and familiarize you with the entire Elixir Alliance. As for me, if there's nothing urgent, I plan to seclude myself and continue my elixir recipe research. Lin Jing and Changyun Yuanlei nodded. After Elder Qi finished instructing them, he continued to lead Lin Jing and the others forward. In this way, the group passed through many distinct buildings in the inner city and arrived at a spacious square. In the middle of this square was a formation. Lin Jing glanced over and saw a formation that was very familiar. This formation, notably, was a teleportation array. However, this teleportation array was small and not as large as those in other immortal cities. When the three of them arrived at the teleportation array, the 2 young cultivators guarding it quickly stepped forward and greeted the elder with clasped hands. Elder Qi. Elder Qi nodded and then said to them, These 2 have just joined the Elixir Alliance today, and now they're my disciples. Upon hearing this, the 2 hurriedly looked towards Lin Jing and Changyun Yuanlei and greeted them. Lin Jing and the others hurriedly responded. Just then, Elder Qi had already stepped onto the teleportation array. Seeing this, Lin Jing and Changyun Yuanlei quickly followed suit. The 2 young cultivators, likely knowing Elder Qi's temperament, saw that Elder Qi was ready and did not dare delay, immediately activating the teleportation array. The other end of the teleportation array turned out to be within a mountain range. As soon as they were transported there, what entered Lin Jing's sight were towering mountains and the endless mountainous wild forests. In front of them, within sight, was a majestic peak that pierced the clouds, seated atop a mountain range that stretched on for countless miles, standing like a pillar descending from the heavens, steadfast in its place. Even from a great distance, they could still feel the oppressive presence of the mountain. Seeing this scene, both Lin Jing and Changyun Yuanlei were momentarily stunned. During the moment Lin Jing and Changyun Yuanlei were stunned, Elder Qi had already risen into the air. Following, Elder Qi looked at Lin Jing and said, Follow me. I'll take you to my cave dwelling first. Upon hearing this, Lin Jing quickly rose into the air, following Elder Qi. It didn't take long before the 3 of them arrived at a valley in the woods, and within this extremely quiet valley was a sizable courtyard. Elder Qi led Lin Jing through the air directly to the valley, and then they landed in front of the courtyard. Just as the 3 of them landed, the gates of the courtyard opened, and at the same time, a voice very familiar to Lin Jing came from inside. Master, you're back. Following the voice, a slender and breathtakingly beautiful woman walked out from inside the courtyard. Lin Jing couldn't help but smile knowingly upon seeing this woman. He had speculated earlier. Now, indeed, the woman who came out was Xiyue. Xiyue first looked towards Elder Qi at the forefront, initially not noticing Lin Jing and Changyun Yuanlei following behind. However, when she felt a different gaze on her, she couldn't help but glance back at Lin Jing standing behind Elder Qi. When Xiyue clearly saw Lin Jing, her eyes lit up, prompting her to exclaim, Lin Daoyu, how come you are here? Upon hearing this, Changyun Yuanlei was instantly surprised, first looking towards Xiyue up front, then turning his head in disbelief towards Lin Jing. Obviously, Changyin Yuanlei was very astonished to find that Lin Jing knew the woman who was about to become either his senior disciple sister or junior disciple sister. But before Changyin Yuanlei could ask anything, Elder Qi had already opened his mouth first. "You two know each other?" Upon hearing Elder Qi's question, Xian nodded and replied, "Yes, master. I've known Lin Daoyu for decades, and I even consulted him on some alchemy techniques." Lin Jing nodded at this time as well. Elder Qi listened and nodded slightly. "Since you two know each other, that's even better." He then directly addressed Xiyue. "Lin Jing and Changyin Yuanlei are both my disciples, and you will henceforth be fellow disciples. Lin Jing, being the highest in cultivation and also a 7th grade pill master, will be your senior disciple brother, and between the remaining two, Xiyue has higher cultivation and will be the senior disciple sister. Changyin Yuanlei, having the lowest cultivation, will be the junior disciple brother. Do any of you have any objections?" Lin Jing and his companions exchanged glances, then spoke. "We rely entirely on Master's decision." Elder Qi nodded, then continued. "In the future, if you two have any issues, go directly to your senior brother, Lin Jing. If he cannot resolve them, then go find the Alliance Hierarch. As for me, once I come out of closed-door cultivation, I will look for you." Xiyue and Changyin Yuanlei both nodded and said, "Understood, master." Elder Qi nodded slightly, then turned to Xiyue and said, "Later, take these two brothers around to get familiar with the Elixir Alliance. After they are familiar with it, take them to the 2 caves near your residence. Those will be their dwellings from now on." "Yes, master." Xiyue bowed, addressing Elder Qi. Elder Qi nodded again, then said to Lin Jing and the others, "All right, now that everything is arranged, you can go. I need to start my closed-door cultivation and work on the elixir recipe." Elder Qi was indeed straightforward. After assigning Lin Jing and his companions to Xiyue, he immediately dismissed them. Seeing how decisive Elder Qi was, Lin Jing and his companions did not delay. They bid farewell to Elder Qi and immediately left the valley. After they left, a formation enveloped the valley, making it impossible for Lin Jing and his companions to enter even if they wanted to. After coming out, Lin Jing and Changyin Yuanlei looked dumbly at the valley, now shrouded by the formation, then slowly said, "Has Master always been like this?" Upon hearing this, Xiyue sighed gently, then replied, "He has always been like this. Even I, having followed him for decades, have only seen him a handful of times. You'll get used to it." Lin Jing and Changyin Yuanlei nodded upon hearing this. Then, Lin Jing turned to Xiyue, smiling as he spoke. "I didn't expect we would meet again so quickly, Ji Daoyu." Xiyue then looked at Lin Jing, sizing him up, then spoke. "When we parted, your cultivation was not much different from mine, but now I find I can no longer gauge your cultivation." Lin Jing then said, "It was also good luck. After we parted, I ventured into ancient ruins and came across a great opportunity, which led to a significant breakthrough in my cultivation." Upon hearing this, Xiyue couldn't help but express envy. Such fortune as yours really is enviable. After this point, Xiyue didn't inquire further, but looked at Lin Jing and Changyin Yuanlei. "Lin's senior brother, Changyin junior brother, let's go. I'll show you to the caves prepared for you. After you've seen them, I'll show you around the inner city and give you a complete tour of our Elixir Alliance. What do you think?" Upon hearing this, Lin Jing nodded and said, "That will be great. Thank you for leading the way, Ji Daoyu." Upon hearing this, Xiyue quickly responded, "Senior brother Lin, please don't. Now that our cultivation levels are worlds apart, I dare not assume the title of Daoyu. It would be better to call me junior sister from now on." Having said that, Xiyue looked at Lin Jing, her smile widening, restoring some of her usual demeanor. "I never dreamed that one day I would be your junior sister. Life is indeed full of surprises. But this is good. Now that you're my senior brother, I can continue to openly consult you about alchemy techniques. And by leveraging our relationship, I can consult you on alchemy techniques without having to offer anything in return." Thinking about it, I still come out ahead. With that, Xiyue looked at Lin Jing, playfully winked, and then, smiling, said, "Wouldn't you agree, senior brother Lin?" Lin Jing, yes. Regarding Xiyue's sudden change, Changyin Yuanlei was somewhat surprised for a moment and consequently turned his head to glance at Lin Jing before looking back at Xiyue. However, it seemed that Xiyue did not care about it. Following that, Xiyue spoke again, addressing Lin Jing and Changyin Yuanlei. "Brother Lin, brother Changyun, let's go. I will take you first to see your caves. After viewing the caves, I will show you around the inner city and give you both a proper introduction. I think, given Master's temperament, he probably didn't really introduce things to you at all." Having heard this, Lin Jing and Changyun Yuanlei nodded in agreement. "You're right. Master said he was in a hurry to return to study elixir recipes and didn't introduce much, saying that he had left this task to you." Xiyue spread her hands and then helplessly said, "There's no helping it. Our master has always been this way. You'll get used to it over time. All right, let's not talk about master anymore. I'll take you to see your caves now." Lin Jing and the others nodded. After that, Xiyue led the two, departing the valley and flying in another direction. The direction in which the three were flying was towards the mountain peak piercing the clouds. Looking at the mountain ahead, Lin Jing couldn't help but speak and ask Xiyue, "Fellow Taoist Ji, where's the place we are currently located?" Xiyue looked at Lin Jing and said, "Our current location is right at the edge of the MT Jihuang range." As her voice fell, Xiyue pointed at the peak ahead and said, "You see that mountain peak in front? It is the highest peak of the MT Jihuang range and also the tallest mountain in the entire Eastern Spirit Realm. I'm sure you know, our alchemists, especially when concocting high-grade elixir medicines, require very high levels of spiritual energy as well as a certain environment. The small area around Elixir Alliance City simply cannot support so many alchemists of our Elixir Alliance working on alchemy together. Therefore, the caves of many of our Elixir Alliance alchemists are mostly here." After hearing this, Lin Jing involuntarily turned his head to look around. Indeed, in the dense forest within his sight, Lin Jing spotted another courtyard. Despite the distance, Lin Jing could still see that there were defensive arrays activated around that courtyard. Xiyue followed Lin Jing's gaze and also saw that courtyard. Then she explained to Lin Jing, "The area we are in has actually been protected by the formations of our Elixir Alliance. Neither demonic beasts nor other outsiders can break in. If there really is a cultivator with profound cultivation who tries to force his way in, the moment he enters this area, he will trigger the formation's alarm, thus alerting the Alliance hierarch and the elders. So here, we don't have to worry about our own safety at all. Besides the outer formations, each cave also has a defensive array. The purpose of this formation is to prevent disturbances during alchemy and is specifically set up for that." Lin Jing looked towards the distant courtyard and gently nodded. No wonder. It wasn't long before Xiyue led Lin Jing and Changyun Yuanlei to the caves that Elder Qi had mentioned earlier, prepared for the two of them. The caves of Lin Jing and Changyun Yuanlei were not far from Xiyue's, also a courtyard, looking quite similar to Elder Qi's. However, in comparison to Elder Qi's, it was much smaller, and their caves were also very close to Xiyue's dwelling. With this, the three of them could also look out for each other in the future. After viewing their caves, Xiyue then took the two back to the Elixir Alliance's inner city. Upon arriving at the Elixir Alliance's inner city, Xiyue, while familiarizing them with the entire alliance, introduced them. "See that great hall in front of you?" Upon hearing this, Lin Jing and the other looked forward. They saw a grand hall situated ahead, which appeared modest but had a constant stream of people going in and out. This busy scene of people coming and going was very rare inside the Elixir Alliance. Previously, as Lin Jing and Changyun Yuanlei had been walking along, it had been quite desolate, with few people encountered. Yet the entrance to this great hall was bustling, which sparked Lin Jing's curiosity. So, he turned and asked Xiyue, "What is this place?" Xiyue replied, This is the Elixir Alliance's mission hall. We, upon joining the Elixir Alliance, except for the Elders, won't receive any resources sponsored by the Alliance. If we want cultivation resources, we must take on tasks issued by the mission hall, earn contribution points, and exchange these points for the resources we need for cultivation. Of course, if you have the support of a powerful backing, you can also avoid coming to the mission hall to undertake these tasks. After hearing this, Lin Jing looked at the Great Hall and said, "So that's how it is." Xian nodded and then continued. This Elixir Alliance's mission hall is divided into two parts. One part is open to the public, issuing various tasks such as finding different spirit plants, spiritual liquids, and other alchemy-related tasks. Most of these tasks carry some risk. They are released publicly, and anyone can accept them. After completing the task, they can also earn contribution points. These contribution points can be exchanged for spirit stones and various cultivation resources. You can even use these points to issue tasks, asking our Elixir Alliance to assist in the concoction of elixir medicines. And the other part of the mission hall is what you see before you. This part of the mission hall generally only has one type of task, which is alchemy. The Elixir Alliance's alchemy tasks are not in short supply. Some are issued internally by our alliance, and others are externally commissioned using contribution points, requesting our help with alchemy. Even some are collaborations with other forces, assisting them with alchemy. All such alchemy tasks will appear here in the mission hall. Of course, besides these tasks, there are also some special tasks. No sooner had Xiyue finished speaking than Chongyun Yuanlei immediately asked, "Special tasks? What kind of special tasks?" Xiyue looked at the two and replied, "It's those that require the crafting of difficult elixirs, such as the flawless elixirs. The tasks they issue are not easily completed. Naturally, they cannot be compared with ordinary tasks." Upon hearing this, Chongyun Yuanlei suddenly realized and said, "Oh, I see. So these are the special tasks. Then, the reward for completing special tasks must also be substantial, right?" Xiyue shook her head. Special tasks are not easy to complete. Generally, the rewards for special tasks are not just contribution points, but also include other things. After all, the requirement for special tasks are very high. If they were to be settled with just contribution points, it might be difficult for the task issuer to gather enough points to issue the task. Chongyun Yuanlei nodded after listening and said, "Understand." Xian nodded slightly, then turned to Lin Jing and spoke. "Brother Lin, what do you think? Would you like to go and take a look at the mission hall?" Lin Jing looked toward the mission hall and nodded. "I will inevitably need to come here to accept tasks in the future, so naturally, I should take a look now." Having said this, Lin Jing turned around and walked toward the mission hall. Xiyue and Chongyun Yuanlei also followed Lin Jing toward the mission hall. As soon as Lin Jing entered the mission hall, he saw a book floating in the middle of the hall, open wide. This book, several meters in length and width, was quite large and also emitted a gentle white light. Needless to say, this was not a real book, but rather a magical treasure. At that moment, in the main hall of the mission hall, many people stood there, holding their identity tokens and extending their divine sense toward the book in the center. At this moment, Xiyue spoke to Lin Jing and said, "That book is a magical treasure that records the tasks. You can also extend your divine sense to take a look." Lin Jing nodded, then extended his divine sense toward the book. As soon as Lin Jing's divine sense probed into the book, he immediately felt his entire consciousness enter the book. This book seemed to be a special magical treasure capable of accommodating a cultivator's consciousness. Once Lin Jing's consciousness entered the book, he immediately saw a screen ahead displaying various tasks. 4th rank 72 task. Refine the 4th rank Qingling pill. Task requirement. At least 4 pills formed, 1 supreme grade elixir. Time requirement, 2 days. Task completion reward, 800 contribution points. 5th rank 33 task. Refine the 5th rank spirit gathering pill. Task requirement. At least 4 pills formed, 2 superior elixirs. Time requirement, 3 days. Task completion reward, 6,000 contribution points. The screen displayed many tasks, almost all related to elixir refinement. Lin Jing observed for a while and noticed that the tasks on the screen were not constant. During the time Lin Jing was observing, 2 tasks disappeared from the screen. He guessed that these tasks had been accepted by someone, which is why they had vanished from the screen. Of course, as tasks disappear, naturally, new tasks appear. In that brief moment, 3 new tasks appeared on the light screen. Above all, one of these tasks was special. 4th rank special task number 3. Refine the 4th rank Nirvana Elixir. Task requirement, 1 flawless Nirvana Elixir. Time requirement, 3 months. Task completion reward, 5,000 contribution points, plus 1 medium-grade Taoist flying sword, and a set of offensive techniques that can be cultivated up to divinity transformation. This special task offered not only contribution points as a reward, but also magical treasures and cultivation techniques. It must be that the person who posted the task didn't have enough contribution points, so they used these items as a substitute. However, what he requested was the Nirvana Elixir, the most precious among the 4th rank elixir medicines, and moreover, a flawless one at that. It was probable that these items alone wouldn't be sufficient. After observing in the scroll space for a while, Lin Jing soon gained some understanding of this task. Following this, Lin Jing's thoughts stirred, withdrawing his divine sense, and his consciousness left the scroll space and returned to his own body. Upon Lin Jing's return to consciousness, Xiyue immediately came to his side and said, "You've looked over those tasks, haven't you? What do you think?" Lin Jing nodded slightly. They seemed quite feasible. Xiyue smiled and then motioned Lin Jing to look toward the inside of the hall. In the back of the mission hall, there were several rooms where people who had viewed the tasks continuously entered. Xiyue then spoke. "When the time comes, if you decide to undertake a task, just choose one here. Then go to the rooms inside and find a mission hall disciple to receive the task." Lin Jing nodded, indicating he understood. After getting a complete understanding of the mission hall, the 3 of them did not linger and left the place directly. After leaving the mission hall, Xiyue led Lin Jing and Yuanlei to several other places. By the time the 2 had familiarized themselves with the entire Elixir Alliance, it was already quite late. Afterward, the 3 of them then left and returned to their respective cave dwellings. Lin Jing's cave dwelling was located at the very back of a valley, one side, next to a mountain cliff. The cave dwelling was quite nice, with a courtyard, an alchemy room, and it was protected by a formation. Moreover, it was a considerable distance from the nearest cave dwelling of Xiyue. Lin Jing had chosen this place precisely because it was more secluded and suitable for his alchemy practice. Standing in the courtyard of his cave dwelling, Lin Jing was contemplating the matters the elder of the Xian clan had entrusted to him before his departure. Before leaving the Xian clan, the elder had instructed Lin Jing to bring an item to Elder Bai of the Elixir Alliance, and that item was the remaining half of the Ascension Pill. Elder Bai was the Grand Elder of the Elixir Alliance. He had close relations with the ancestors of both the Lin family and the Xian clan. The 3 were old friends for many years. This time, due to the circumstances involving Yimingyi, it was not easy for the elder of the Xian clan to make a move, so he sent himself to deliver the remaining half of the Ascension Pill to Elder Bai at the Elixir Alliance. As for why it had to be given to Elder Bai, that seemed to be a pact made 10,000 years ago among the 3 of them, but the specifics of that pact were unknown to Lin Jing. Unfortunately, upon Lin Jing's arrival, Elder Bai was not present. Left with no option, Lin Jing had no choice but to keep the half-ascension pill on him and wait for Elder Bai's return. Besides the matter of the ascension pill, there was another issue Lin Jing needed to resolve. That was the issue of the Lin family's innate Taoist pill furnace. The Lin family's Taoist pill furnace had shattered during the refinement of the ascension pill. The elder of the Xian clan had also mentioned that this shattered pill furnace could be repaired, but there was no one within the entire demon-filled inner sea capable of repairing it. Only in the Eastern Spirit Realm were there individuals capable of repairing the Lin family's pill furnace. Lin Jing had asked the elder of the Changyun clan for the name of the person who could repair the pill furnace. The elder of the Changyun clan had only given Lin Jing 4 words: the Xian Duan elder. Lin Jing had already made plans. During his time in the Elixir Alliance, he planned to refine elixirs to enhance his alchemy Dao cultivation while simultaneously inquiring about the Xian Duan elder, attempting to repair the Lin family's innate Daoist treasure pill furnace. The next morning, as Lin Jing was still meditating, Xiyue had already come to find him. Upon seeing Lin Jing, Xiyue spoke straightforwardly. "Lin, senior brother, I never got around to asking yesterday. How come you were with people from the Changyun clan? Has your identity been exposed?" Lin Jing naturally understood what Xiyue meant. Xiyue knew about his identity as the heir of the Lin family. Now that she saw him with Changyun Yuanlei, she was naturally quite puzzled. Lin Jing nodded and then began to speak. "You could say that. Before I came to the Eastern Spirit Realm, I was already in the demon Inner Sea. In the Inner Sea, I experienced some things and learned some truths about the destruction of the Lin family. Now that everything about the Lin family has been revealed, those who were once hostile to the Lin family have also appeared. The identity of me as the Lin family heir thus no longer needs to be concealed." After listening, Xiyue nodded in understanding. Following that, Lin Jing spoke and asked Xiyue, "Xiyue Junior sister, I need to ask you something." "Xiyue Junior sister." Xiyue, upon hearing this, turned to look at Lin Jing and couldn't help but cover her mouth and giggle. I never thought I'd be addressed by senior brother Jing like this. It's truly an honor for this young woman." Lin Jing had spoken without much thought, but upon reflection, he realized it was somewhat improper. He couldn't help but cough twice to cover his embarrassment. Cough, cough. Junior sister, I actually have something I want to ask you." Xiyue looked at Lin Jing, blinked her eyes, and with a smile tugging at her lips, said, "What would you like to ask?" "Lin's senior brother." Lin Jing straightened his expression and then spoke seriously. "Do you, Junior sister, happen to know about the elder known as Xian Duan?" "Xian Duan?" Seeing Lin Jing get serious, Xiyue also stopped jesting and put away her frivolous demeanor, nodding earnestly. "Yes, I've heard a bit about Xian Duan. What is it? Do you need to find Xian Duan, senior brother Lin?" Lin Jing nodded and said, "I have a damaged magical treasure that I want Xian Duan to help repair." Upon hearing this, Xiyue looked at Lin Jing and then shook her head. "Looking for Xian Duan to repair a magical treasure? I'm afraid you might be disappointed." "What do you mean?" Lin Jing asked, puzzled. Xiyue then explained. "Not to mention Xian Duan is elusive, rarely appearing before people. But the location of his abode, Xian Duan Fu, has also been unknown to this day. Finding Xian Duan requires him to take initiative or an extraordinary stroke of luck. Besides, rumor has it, Xian Duan is quite eccentric. There are countless people who seek his help. It won't be easy for you to get his assistance to repair a magical treasure." Hearing this, Lin Jing fell into thought. Seeing Lin Jing pondering, Xiyue quickly asked, "What's the matter? Is that magical treasure very important to you?" Lin Jing nodded and then said, "Yes. To be honest, the magical treasure I mentioned comes from the Lin family. It's extremely important to me." Hearing this, Xiyue fell silent for a moment and then spoke again. "If that's the case, then all you can do is wait. Xian Duan may be capricious, but sometimes he shows up unexpectedly in an immortal city, refining artifacts for people. And if he's in a good mood, he doesn't even charge. If you really want to find Xian Duan, senior brother Lin, you can only wait for him to appear." While considering this, Lin Jing nodded slightly. "That's the only way then." After some thought, Lin Jing looked up at Xiyue and asked, Junior sister, you came so early, there must be something else, right?" As soon as Lin Jing finished speaking, Xiyue nodded repeatedly and then said, "Indeed, I've run into a bit of trouble, so I wanted to seek help from senior brother Lin." Lin Jing looked at Xiyue and then asked, "What trouble have you encountered?" Xiyue let out a helpless sigh and then said, "Oh, ever since the last time, with your help, I advanced to a 6th grade alchemist. Decades have passed, and my success rate in alchemy has always been low. The elixir scripture you helped me repair before, so I came to you hoping you could check if there's any problem I missed again. Lin Jing heard this and nodded gently. I see. No problem. Let me take a look for you again. Xiyue heard this and immediately broke into a smile. Then, she took out the elixir scripture from before and handed it to Lin Jing. After Lin Jing took the elixir scripture, he immediately began to examine it. And Xiyue, without hesitancy, came close to Lin Jing's side and started to look with him. Time flies. In the blink of an eye, 20 years had passed since Lin Jing arrived at the Elixir Alliance. For cultivators, 20 years passed in the blink of an eye, fleeting if one did not pay attention. In these 20 years, Lin Jing took on various alchemy tasks from a mission hall of the Elixir Alliance to accumulate contribution points. At the same time, he searched for traces of Duan. Through continuous inquiries, Lin Jing learned a great deal about the deeds of Duan and gradually gained some understanding of him. He also understood why only Duan could repair the Lin family pill furnace. After all, Duan was the strongest artifact refiner in the Eastern Spirit Realm, and he had even personally forged 2 innate Taoist treasures. If Lin Jing's Lin family innate Taoist treasure pill furnace couldn't be repaired by him, then probably no one in the cultivation world could fix it. Unfortunately, from the beginning until now, Lin Jing had not received any news of the appearance of the Duan elder. This left Lin Jing quite helpless. Aside from doing tasks from the mission hall and searching for the Duan elder, Lin Jing's only activity was helping Xiyue deal with the problems she encountered in alchemy. Qianyun and Yuanlei practiced the alchemy Dao of the Qianyun clan, naturally encountering no issues. This point differed with Xiyue. Freebnull.com. Therefore, in these 20 years, Qianyun and Yuanlei seldom sought Lin Jing. Only Xiyue came more frequently. During this time, Elder Bai had continually been absent in the outer spatial void, and their master, Elder Qi, had also been in seclusion, seemingly researching a tremendously important elixir recipe. Elder Qi came out for a brief period during this time, but quickly went back into seclusion. All things considered, Lin Jing also led a relatively relaxed life, basically refining elixirs daily and then finding time to cultivate. In such circumstances, Lin Jing's cultivation had also firmly advanced to the mid-stage of Dao integration. Moreover, by continuously performing tasks in alchemy, Lin Jing had accumulated a good number of contribution points, as well as harvest points in the system space. Inside the system space, Lin Jing sat in the alchemy room. In front of him, the cloud-patterned purple-gold furnace encircled by formation patterns, constantly revolving around the furnace. At this moment, the entire furnace was glowing red. Yet Lin Jing was closely watching the furnace, carefully controlling the colorless flame at the base, daring not be careless. Given the situation, it seemed another batch of elixir medicines was about to be completed. Indeed, as the elixir fragrance in the alchemy room grew increasingly rich, this batch of elixir medicine also gradually took shape. Soon after, the crisp sound of a system prompt entered Lin Jing's ears. Ding! System prompt. Congratulations, host, for refining a flawless elixir and receiving a reward. 100 harvest points. Elixir successfully refined. Alchemy proficiency plus 160. Hearing the system prompt, Lin Jing immediately relaxed. Following, Lin Jing extinguished the flame, then opened the furnace and took out several elixir medicines from it. This batch of elixirs totaled 5 pills, 1 flawless, 1 supreme grade, 2 superior grades, and 1 low grade. This batch of elixir that Lin Jing had refined was to fulfill a task from the mission hall, specifically to create a batch of 5th grade elixirs. Lin Jing was lucky this time, as he even refined a flawless elixir. The requirement of this task from Lin Jing only asked for 1 supreme grade elixir. But Lin Jing's batch not only produced a supreme grade elixir, completing the task, but even extended to producing a flawless one. Since he refined a flawless elixir, it naturally belonged to Lin Jing himself. After all, The value of a flawless elixir was far greater than that of a supreme-grade elixir and was not included in the task. If traded, it would be a loss. Regarding the occurrence of flawless elixirs while completing alchemy tasks, the Elixir Alliance had its own method of handling. Either keep the flawless elixir for oneself, or hand it to the mission hall in exchange for contribution points. In any case, they would not let the alchemist suffer a loss. Only, the chance of a flawless elixir appearing was too low. Although the mission hall had many alchemy tasks, those who refined flawless elixirs during task completion were extremely rare. In these 20 years, Lin Jing had only encountered 2 instances where a flawless elixir appeared during an alchemy task. Only, refining flawless elixirs was not a difficult matter for Lin Jing. With the enhancement from system space, in these 20 years he had indeed refined numerous flawless elixirs. However, Lin Jing absolutely could not reveal these flawless elixirs. Otherwise, it would likely astonish everyone, and Lin Jing would be unable to explain. Therefore, these flawless elixirs were all handed over for system recycling, turning into harvest points needed to upgrade the system space. Because of this, Lin Jing's harvest points had already reached over 600,000. Continuing this way, in just another 50 years, the system space would be able to upgrade again. After taking out the elixir medicines, Lin Jing distributed this batch, encasing the flawless elixir in a pure jade box and tucking it away. The other pills, used to complete the task, were put into a jade vial. After sorting the elixirs, Lin Jing looked around, then packed up the furnace and left the system space. After leaving the system space, Lin Jing did not delay and immediately left his cave dwelling to fly to the inner city of the Elixir Alliance. Next, he was definitely going to the mission hall to hand over his alchemy task. He also planned to use his contribution points to exchange for some alchemy ingredients. From his cave dwelling to the mission hall, with Lin Jing's speed, it took less than half an hour. Upon arriving, he crossed the main hall and went directly to the area behind it. Behind the main hall of the mission hall were several rooms, each housing an Elixir Alliance cultivator. The task handover took place in these rooms. Lin Jing arrived at the back of the main hall and directly entered one of the rooms. As soon as he entered, the Elixir Alliance cultivator inside immediately greeted him with a bow. "Senior Lin, you have come again." Clearly, this cultivator was already very familiar with Lin Jing. Lin Jing nodded, took out his identity token, and then from his space ring, he took out 2 vials of elixir medicine and handed them to the cultivator in front of him. "These are the 2 tasks I accepted last time. Please check them." The Elixir Alliance cultivator took Lin Jing's identity token and the 2 vials of elixir medicine, and then smiled. "Senior Lin, being a 7th-grade alchemist, there surely won't be any problems with these 5th-grade elixir medicines." Even though he said this, he still opened the jade vials to check them, and only after confirming they were correct did he put the vials away. After storing the vials, the cultivator took out another token from his body and stuck it together with Lin Jing's identity token. Then, the Elixir Alliance cultivator activated his spiritual power and began to gesture over the 2 tokens, aligning something. Soon, the Elixir Alliance cultivator finished his gesturing. Afterwards, he returned Lin Jing's identity token and then spoke. "Senior Lin, in this instance, you have completed the 5th-rank tasks number 75 and 89. These 2 tasks together award a total of 13,000 contribution points, which have now been recorded for you. You can check through your identity token." The identity tokens issued by the Elixir Alliance not only serve to prove one's identity, but also to record these contribution points. Lin Jing took the identity token and then activated his cultivation technique, channeling spiritual power into the token. Instantly, a series of numbers appeared on the identity token. 175-25000. This was the total contribution points Lin Jing had earned over the years by carrying out alchemy tasks in Alchemy Hall. It was over 17 million. Moreover, these weren't even all of his contribution points, as Lin Jing often used many, mostly exchanging them for alchemy ingredients to convert into elixir medicines. After all, whether it was about advancing his alchemist grade or aiming to earn harvest points to upgrade his space, Making elixir medicines was essential for Lin Jing. Keeping so many contribution points was of little use. It was better to exchange them all for alchemy ingredients to make into elixir medicines. After checking the contribution points, Lin Jing then left the place. Next, Lin Jing returned to the main hall of the mission hall, ready to undertake a new task. Upon arriving at the main hall of the mission hall, Lin Jing extended his divine sense towards the scroll in the center. The next moment, Lin Jing's consciousness was pulled into the space within the scroll, coming to the scroll space where he directly looked to the mission display screen ahead. The alchemy tasks in the Elixir Alliance were numerous and dazzling, with most tasks being of the 5th and 6th rank. For Lin Jing, these tasks were not difficult. With his current level of alchemy, he could freely choose any of these tasks, and there were basically no problems completing them. However, some tasks might be more time-consuming, which is why Lin Jing would be selective. Moreover, apart from those common tasks, there were also special tasks within the rewards. Some special tasks might offer rare spirit plant rewards, while others, awarding contribution points, could amount to dozens of regular tasks for Lin Jing. Therefore, Lin Jing always looked through the special tasks first, each time he took on new tasks. As Lin Jing continued browsing, suddenly, the reward for a special task caught his eye. Lin Jing immediately concentrated and began to examine this special task. 5th rank special task number 2. Refine a 5th rank revival elixir. Task requirement: 1 flawless grade revival elixir. Time limit: half a year. Task completion reward: 5,000 contribution points, plus 1 supreme grade Dao artifact personally refined by the elder Xian Duan, and an opportunity given by a disciple of Xian Duan to refine an artifact. Refiner Immortal Mansion disciples. I never expected to come across a bit of news about the Refiner Immortal Mansion in this special task. Such tasks for crafting the pure elixir medicine, even if they are issued, are rarely completed. Most of those who issue the tasks do so with an attitude of just giving it a try. Actually, more often, they focus their energy elsewhere, searching for the pure elixir medicine they need. If Lin Jing didn't accept this task, it's very likely that when the time came, with no one having completed it, the issuer would simply cancel the special task. But the special task today, Lin Jing absolutely had to accept. Lin Jing had already waited 20 years, without receiving even a tiny bit of information about the Refiner Immortal Mansion, and now that he finally encountered it, Lin Jing didn't want to miss out at all. Especially that last part, the opportunity for Refiner Immortal Mansion disciples to refine an artifact. With this chance, he could meet a disciple from the Refiner Immortal Mansion. Only by meeting this disciple from the Refiner Immortal Mansion could he have an opportunity to see the Refiner Immortal Elder. Lin Jing did not hesitate and immediately decided to accept this task. Afterward, Lin Jing withdrew his divine sense, and his consciousness returned to his body. Then, Lin Jing walked through the mission hall's great hall and continued toward the back of the hall. Not much later, Lin Jing left the mission hall with the task and the spirit plants needed for crafting the revival elixir. After leaving the mission hall, Lin Jing made a detour to the Immortal Herb Hall within the Elixir Alliance. The Immortal Herb Hall, as the name implies, is where the Elixir Alliance stores alchemy ingredients. Besides the Immortal Herb Hall, there are places like the Spirit Tool Hall, Treasure Hall, and Scripture Pavilion within the Elixir Alliance. In these places, contribution points can be used to exchange for various magical treasures and exotic stones, among other things. After accepting a task from the mission hall, you can come to the Immortal Herb Hall to collect the ingredients needed for your task. Except for some special tasks, each task only allows for 1 collection of ingredients. If the alchemy fails, you have to use your own contribution points to exchange for more ingredients. Upon arriving at the Immortal Herb Hall, Lin Jing collected a set of ingredients for crafting the revival elixir. Knowing that 1 set of ingredients might not be enough, he then used contribution points to exchange for several more sets of ingredients needed for the revival elixir. After exchanging for the alchemy ingredients, Lin Jing immediately left, returning to his cave dwelling, ready to begin crafting the revival elixir. 3 months later, outside the Elixir Alliance outer city, in a courtyard prepared by the mission hall in the outer city, Lin Jing was currently sitting beside a table inside the cottage, waiting for someone's arrival. The one Lin Jing was waiting for was the person who had issued the 5th rank special task number 2. This person was suspected to be a disciple of the refiner immortal mansion. In fact, Lin Jing had already crafted the pure revival elixir shortly after taking on the task. However, to avoid any trouble and also to wait for a couple more months, Lin Jing didn't come to complete the task until now. And the condition Lin Jing set for completing the task was to meet the issuer in person. One of the rewards for the special task was related to artifact refining, so it was natural for both sides to meet eventually. Therefore, the other party didn't refuse and directly chose a courtyard offered by the mission hall for the meeting. At this point, Lin Jing had already been waiting for some time, and according to the time they had agreed upon, the person should be arriving soon. Just as Lin Jing was thinking about this, he felt a presence outside. Sensing this, Lin Jing instantly became vigilant and then immediately extended his divine sense outwards. He saw a burly man with a beard and late-stage divinity transformation cultivation striding toward the courtyard. Seeing the burly man approach, Lin Jing also stood up and walked out of the room. The burly man arrived at the courtyard, pushed the door open, and walked in, while Lin Jing, at the same time, stepped out of the house. The two met face to face just like that, looking directly into each other's eyes. As their eyes met, Lin Jing didn't find it particularly surprising, but the bearded burly man, upon seeing Lin Jing, was completely stunned. Just as Lin Jing was about to ask something, the bearded burly man had already spoken first. Lin Jing. The bearded burly man looked at Lin Jing with a mix of confusion and disbelief, as if he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Hearing the burly man call out his name, Lin Jing was also taken aback, and, after a moment of realization, he scrutinized the man closely, then asked, "Do you know me?" Upon hearing Lin Jing say this, the burly man breathed a sigh of relief and immediately relaxed. Then, the bearded man took off a jade pendant from his body, and the moment the pendant was removed, the man's body began to change rapidly. In no time, the transformation was complete, revealing someone Lin Jing knew well. Seeing this person, Lin Jing was also stunned. "Han, Senior Han, how could it be you?" It turns out the bearded burly man was Han Jing, Senior Han, whom Lin Jing had not seen for a long time. Senior Han looked at Lin Jing, examined him carefully, and then said, "I knew it. Back in the demon race secret realm, you wouldn't have encountered any trouble. Indeed, I wasn't wrong. Long time no see. Looking at you now, you seem to be doing quite well." Lin Jing nodded, and then replied, "I didn't mean to cause Senior Han any worry. After the upheaval in the demon race secret realm, I left the Nanming domain and then went to the demonic monster sea, where I experienced a lot. Later, I returned to the Nanming domain, met with attendant Chang, and saw the letter you left for me. I originally thought that after you left Qingyuan Sword Sect, you would become a loose cultivator, but I never expected to meet you here. Senior Han, could it be that you've joined Xian Duan House?" Senior Han nodded, then spoke. You could say it was a fortunate coincidence. After speaking, Senior Han waved his hand, closing the courtyard door behind him, then said to Lin Jing, "We haven't seen each other for a long time. We should definitely have a good chat. I also want to know what you've experienced all these years." Lin Jing nodded, and then followed Senior Han into the house in the courtyard. Once inside the room, Lin Jing waved his hand and a spiritual power barrier enveloped the room, ensuring that even if there were people nearby, they could not eavesdrop on the conversation. Then, Senior Han directly addressed Lin Jing. "There was an accident in the demon race secret realm. I want to look for you specially, but learn that you were inside the secret realm. With such a tragic event happening at that time, how did you manage to escape?" Lin Jing spoke, replying, "Back then in the demon race secret realm, a lot happened. My escape was really a matter of luck." And so, Lin Jing began recounting his experiences from that time. Of course, there were certainly things Lin Jing could not reveal, especially anything regarding the system space. That was absolutely off limits. After finishing the story about the demon race secret realm, Lin Jing also told Senior Han about some of his subsequent experiences. Even the events he experienced in the demonic monster Inner Sea were shared with Senior Han. Senior Han had long been aware of Lin Jing's identity as the successor of the Lin family. The elixir scripture of the Lin family was even recovered with Senior Han's help. About the Lin family matters, Lin Jing naturally did not hide anything from Senior Han. After Lin Jing finished speaking, Senior Han looked at him, first with surprise and then with a sigh. What was astonishing was Lin Jing's terrifying speed of cultivation, and what was reflective was that Lin Jing's experiences seemed almost magical. After expressing his feelings, Senior Han started to share his own experiences after leaving the Xiyue sword sect, before going to support the Nanming domain from the Western Demon region. During the latter stages, when the Howling Sky Wolf clan was ravaging the Nanming domain, the three major sects struggled to support each other and had no choice but to abandon their original bases and come together. It was at this time that, even with the combined strength of the three major sects, they were too preoccupied to care about anything else. Even their lower-ranking disciples were almost unable to be protected. Therefore, the three major sects began to consolidate their forces and encouraged those disciples with low cultivation to leave the Nanming domain on their own and seek survival in the demonic monster sea. It was during this time that Senior Han left the Xiyue sword sect, and immediately after leaving, he set off for the Eastern Spirit Realm. Senior Han's journey was unlike Li Tongyu's previous one. Senior Han didn't encounter much danger along the way. Moreover, after arriving in the Eastern Spirit Realm, Senior Han, by a lucky coincidence, stumbled upon a relic site. In that secret realm, not only did Senior Han obtain some substantial benefits, but he also met the old man of Duan in the relic. The old man of Duan took a liking to Senior Han, and thus directly took him into Duan house as a disciple. Becoming a disciple of Duan house, such a fortuitous event is something others might not even dare dream of. But it happened to Senior Han. Within Duan house, cultivating resources were abundant. Consequently, Senior Han's cultivation soared all the way until his current stage of late divinity transformation. The reason Senior Han now needed the pure revival elixir was because during artifact refining, an error occurred causing a Taoist treasure he was crafting to explode, inadvertently injuring his soul spirit. Hence, he needed the pure revival elixir to repair the damaged soul spirit. After listening to him, Lin Jing immediately took out the prepared pure revival elixir and handed it to Senior Han. Senior Han, if something like this happens in the future, there's no need to go through such trouble. Just come directly to me, and I'll help you refine the elixir. Instead of taking the elixir medicine, Senior Han looked at Lin Jing and asked, Junior brother Lin, given your current cultivation, even supreme grade Taoist treasures probably won't attract you much. I'm afraid the rewards offered for the mission I post in the mission hall can't possibly entice you. Yet you accepted this task. There must be another reason, right? Lin Jing nodded, then said to Senior Han, You have guessed correctly, Senior Han. My doing so was actually to see you. Or rather, I wanted to meet the old man of Duan through the person who posted the task and ask him to help repair our Lin family's broken pill furnace. After hearing Lin Jing's explanation, Senior Han bowed his head and began to ponder. After a moment of thought, Senior Han looked up and said to Lin Jing, If that's the case, perhaps I can help. My master, he loves forging and in-depth research of all kinds of novel magical treasures, and in particular, he has an obsession with innate Taoist treasures. The pill furnace from your Lin family is a kind of rare, innate Taoist treasure furnace. It's certain to pique his interest. When the time comes, I will speak to my master for you. He should be very interested, and if he feels like it, he might not even ask for any reward to actively help you repair this pill furnace. Upon hearing these words, Lin Jing was immediately filled with joy. If that's the case, I'll have to trouble Senior Han. Han Jing waved his hand, indicating it was not necessary. Afterward, Lin Jing pushed the pure revival elixir that he had offered before back in front of Senior Han, insisting that he keep it. This time, Senior Han did not refuse and directly accepted the elixir medicine. After discussing the matter for a while, the two then left the courtyard together and headed to the Elixir Alliance's mission hall in the outer city. Since the person posting the mission was Senior Han, there was naturally no need to continue it. They just went directly to the mission hall to cancel the task. After finishing all this, the two bade each other farewell, exchanged jade tokens for communication, and then agreed on a place for their next meeting, preparing for the next time they would see each other. Afterward, Senior Han departed. This time, Senior Han had not informed Lin Jing of the location of Duan's residence, nor did he reveal any news about it. This was also one of Duan's rules. The old master didn't like being disturbed, hence the location of the residence was rarely disclosed. The disciples of the old master at Duan, like Senior Han, naturally dared not to disobey. After Han Jing had left, Lin Jing also returned to his own cave dwelling. Next, Lin Jing just needed to wait for Senior Han to contact him. Soon, several days passed. During these days, Senior Han hadn't contacted Lin Jing, who wasn't in a hurry either and continued to take on alchemy tasks at the mission hall to earn contribution points. So it went until half a month later, the jade token that Senior Han had left with Lin Jing stirred. Seeing this, Lin Jing was immediately delighted. He then quickly left his cave and rushed to the place they had agreed to meet. When he arrived at the meeting spot, Senior Han was already there waiting. Lin Jing hurried forward and asked, "Senior Han, how did it go?" Senior Han spoke. "I have told my master about your situation, and he said he wants to meet you first." Upon hearing this, Lin Jing was stunned. "Meet me? Now?" Senior Han nodded, saying, "Yes. My master is already waiting for you." After hearing this, Lin Jing couldn't help but express his confusion. "Are you taking me to Duan's residence? Isn't your master not fond of being disturbed?" Senior Han shook his head and said, "It's not at Duan's residence. It's here in the Elixir Alliance's city. My master has personally come this time." "I see." Lin Jing suddenly understood. It seemed that the attraction of the Lin family's innate Taoist treasure, the pill furnace, was immense for the old master of Duan. It had compelled him to personally come out and make his way to the Elixir Alliance's city. At this moment, Senior Han spoke again. "Then let's go now. We shouldn't keep my master waiting." Lin Jing nodded and said, "All right. Indeed, we should not keep the senior waiting. Let's head over right now." Han Jing nodded, then led the way, guiding Lin Jing through the city. The place where the Duan elder resided was a small, inconspicuous tavern on a quiet street. Senior Han brought Lin Jing to this small tavern, and in its backyard, Lin Jing met the Duan elder. When Lin Jing saw the Duan elder, the latter had an unassuming aura and a very frail body, appearing like a small, feeble old man. Though he seemed exceedingly frail in appearance, his eyes were, however, remarkably bright. Upon seeing Lin Jing, the Duan elder seemed very interested in him, immediately sizing him up. After examining him for a while, the Duan elder spoke up, his voice full of vigor, and asked Lin Jing, "Are you the young lad from the Lin family?" Lin Jing clasped his hands and replied to the Duan elder, "Yes, senior." The Duan elder looked at Lin Jing, then spoke again. "My disciple Han Jing has told me everything. He said you want me to repair the Lin family's startling crane furnace. Is that correct or not?" The innate Tao treasure pill furnace of Lin Jing was indeed named the startling crane furnace, dubbed so due to its main forging material being the illusory startling crane gold. Lin Jing clasped his hands and said, "Yes, senior. Our Lin family's startling crane furnace was damaged due to certain reasons. When I was with the Changyan clan, I heard Elder Changyan mention that if one were to ask who in the entire cultivation world could repair the startling crane furnace, it could only be you, senior." Upon hearing this, the Duan elder came to a sudden realization. Changyan Hong. It's him, no wonder. After speaking, the Duan elder once again addressed Lin Jing. What Chen Yunhong said wasn't entirely accurate. To be precise, if I were to take action, there would only be a possibility of repair, and I cannot guarantee success. Moreover, if I am not careful, it could even result in further severe damage. Having said this, are you sure you still want me to help you with the repair? The startling crane furnace had already shattered into several pieces. Even if it were further damaged, how much worse could it get? The Xian Duan elder said this merely to forewarn Lin Jing of the worst outcome should the repair fail, and naturally, Lin Jing was aware of this. Thereafter, Lin Jing, without the slightest hesitation, spoke up directly. Then I'll trouble you, senior. Upon hearing this, the Xian Duan elder nodded and said, Do you have the startling crane furnace with you? Of course, Lin Jing said, while taking out the broken pieces of the startling crane furnace and placing them in front of the Xian Duan elder. The startling crane furnace was a large pill furnace about 10 feet tall and wide. Even its broken pieces took up considerable space in front of the Xian Duan elder. Upon seeing the pill furnace, the Xian Duan elder's demeanor underwent a sudden change, and the way he looked at the startling crane furnace now was filled with wonder, as if he were looking at a treasure. Compared to just a moment ago, the Xian Duan elder seemed like a different person. Subsequently, the Xian Duan elder paid no more attention to Lin Jing and bent over, starting to examine the pill furnace intently. Lin Jing and Han Jing, meanwhile, stood silently on the spot, watching the Xian Duan elder, careful not to disturb him. The Xian Duan elder studied the startling crane furnace as if he had forgotten the time, completely engrossed. This examination lasted for a full 4 hours. During this time, the Xian Duan elder, while observing, also extended his spiritual power to try and thoroughly understand the casting techniques of the pill furnace. Even Lin Jing and Han Jing stood neglected on the side. After the Xian Duan elder finished his exploration and looked up again, his brows were tightly furrowed, and he was muttering to himself non-stop. Truly worthy of being the startling crane furnace. The forging skills from the ancient era really are extraordinary. But this pill furnace and its materials. As he spoke, the Xian Duan elder began to frown in deep thought again. Before long, another hour passed. It was only then that the Xian Duan elder suddenly looked up. The Xian Duan elder raised his head, looked at Lin Jing, and directly said, Young lad of the Lin family, your startling crane furnace is not a common Taoist treasure, and I can't thoroughly study it at the moment, nor can I give you a method to repair it. So, I'll first take these broken pieces of the startling crane furnace back to Xian Duan Manor. Once I find a method to repair it, I'll have Han Jing contact you. What do you think? Of course, if you don't trust this old man, then forget it. Since the ancestor of the Changyan clan had recommended the Xian Duan elder, he must have had immense trust in him. Moreover, since the Xian Duan elder was also the master of Senior Han, Lin Jing naturally wouldn't doubt his integrity. Furthermore, an artifact refining grandmaster like the Xian Duan elder, who rarely encountered such exceptional Taoist treasures and innate Tao treasures, would not have any designs on a damaged startling crane furnace. No sooner had the Xian Duan elder finished speaking, Lin Jing hurriedly clasped his hands and said to him, Senior speaks too gravely. Since I have requested Senior's help in repairing this pill furnace, I naturally have complete trust in you. It's perfectly fine for Senior to take the pill furnace back to Xian Duan Manor. The Xian Duan elder looked at Lin Jing and gave a slight nod. Good. Then I will take this startling crane furnace back to Xian Duan Manor first, and when there's a clue, I will let Han Jing tell you. Upon hearing this, Lin Jing clasped his hands in a bow and said, In that case, I thank you greatly, Senior. After the Xian Duan elder and Senior Han left together, Lin Jing also returned to his cave dwelling. Lin Jing had just returned to his cave dwelling and had not yet decided on his next move when he received a message from Elder Qi. Afterward, Lin Jing left his cave dwelling and went to see Elder Qi. Lin Jing had just arrived at Elder Qi's cave dwelling when, before Lin Jing could utter a word, Elder Qi tossed him an elixir recipe. This is a new elixir recipe that I have been studying recently. Take a look at it first. 3 days later, I will find you again. Then you will concoct the elixir medicine from this elixir recipe for me to see. I want to check if there is anything that needs to be improved in this recipe. After finishing, Elder Qi gave Lin Jing a few more instructions before sending him back. After returning, Lin Jing immediately took out the elixir recipe and started studying it. This was a 7th grade elixir recipe named the Soul Returning Pill, an elixir medicine used to treat special soul spirit injuries. After looking at it for a while, Lin Jing realized that the Soul Returning Pill had limited effects on cultivators but worked wonders on mortals. He just didn't know why Elder Qi wanted to research such an elixir recipe. However, it seemed like Elder Qi had invested a lot of effort into this recipe. Presumably, he had another purpose for the concocted medicine. With this thought, Lin Jing felt relieved. Then, Lin Jing continued to delve into studying the elixir recipe. Soon enough, 3 days passed, and Elder Qi arrived on schedule. Afterward, Lin Jing followed Elder Qi to the Elixir Alliance's inner city. First, they went to the Immortal Herb Hall, where Elder Qi collected materials for concocting the soul-returning pill twice. After obtaining the materials and leaving the Immortal Herb Hall, Elder Qi then led Lin Jing to a specific alchemy pavilion reserved for the Elixir Alliance's elders. This alchemy pavilion was different from the other alchemy rooms, as it was specially prepared for the Elixir Alliance's elders, and naturally, its necessary facilities were different from the other alchemy rooms. Then, in the alchemy pavilion, Elder Qi handed over the materials for concocting the soul-returning pill to Lin Jing, and then said to him, "This elixir furnace medicine is yours to concoct. After you have finished concocting the medicine, tell me about your experience in making it." Lin Jing nodded and then said, "Yes, master." Elder Qi nodded and then advised again. "Remember, the process of concocting this elixir furnace medicine is complex and prone to errors. You must not take it lightly." Lin Jing nodded and said, "Please rest assured, master." After finishing, Lin Jing approached the formation in the center of the alchemy pavilion. The formation in the center of this alchemy pavilion was different from those in the other alchemy rooms of the Elixir Alliance. Inside the formation in the alchemy pavilion, Lin Jing not only felt the pure spiritual energy, but the formation also had a calming effect. Upon entering the formation, his state of mind immediately became serene. A serene state of mind was more conducive for an alchemist to perform at their true capacity during alchemy, reducing the likelihood of mistakes. After entering the formation, Lin Jing first took out the cloud-patterned purple gold furnace and placed it at the formation center. After setting up the pill furnace, Lin Jing also took out the materials for concocting the soul-returning pill that Elder Qi had given him. Next, Lin Jing sat down cross-legged, closed his eyes, and recalled the entire process of concocting the soul-returning pill. After reviewing the process, Lin Jing reopened his eyes, took out the materials, activated the divine fire triple realm, and the colorless flame immediately soared as Lin Jing began to refine the spirit plants. The refinement of the spirit plants went very smoothly. In just over an hour, Lin Jing had completely refined all the spirit plants needed for concocting the soul-returning pill. After refining the spirit plants, Lin Jing once again concentrated the colorless flame at the bottom of the pill furnace, ready to begin the true concoction of the soul-returning pill. Among the materials for concocting the soul-returning pill, one was the ethereal cold Yin flower, which required a very high temperature in the pill furnace for refinement. Therefore, after concentrating the flame for a while and waiting for the pill furnace to turn red hot, Lin Jing began to add the spirit plants. The first to be added was the ethereal cold Yin flower. Although it had been initially refined, the chill of the ethereal cold Yin flower was still fully preserved. Once the ethereal cold Yin flower entered the pill furnace, it immediately lowered the furnace's temperature significantly. Seeing this, Lin Jing quickly accelerated the circulation of spiritual power to intensify the bottom flame and maintain the temperature inside the furnace. It took a good while before the temperature in the furnace gradually returned to normal. Only then did Lin Jing begin to add the other spirit plants one by one. The last to be added was the most important spirit plant for concocting the soul-returning pill, the glowing soul immortal grass. After tossing the glowing soul immortal grass into the pill furnace, Lin Jing immediately sealed the furnace and began the elixir medicine refinement. During the refinement process of the soul-returning pill, the actual most difficult aspect was the fusion of the virtual spirit Xiyue flower and the glowing soul immortal grass. The virtual spirit Xiyue flower is of a yin, cold nature, while the glowing soul immortal grass is of a yang, fiery nature. Both are inherently conflicting types of spirit plants, yet in terms of their effects, they share a mysteriously similar principle. It is unknown how Elder Qi thought of this method, utilizing these two mutually counteracting spirit plants together, stimulating their effects to refine the soul-returning pill. It is precisely because the pill furnace contains both types of spirit plants with these properties that controlling the furnace's temperature and fusing the two types of elixir medicines became the greatest challenge in refining the soul-returning pill. Lin Jing was meticulous, carefully controlling the flames while simultaneously extending his divine sense to closely monitor the activity within the furnace. The moment he detected anything amiss, Lin Jing would immediately adjust the flames, modifying the temperature inside the furnace. In this manner, several hours had passed. Lin Jing, under such circumstances, remained utterly focused and did not allow his attention to drift from the pill furnace for several hours. The prolonged consumption of divine sense gave Lin Jing a stabbing pain in his head, and beads of sweat were now forming on his forehead. It had been a long time since Lin Jing experienced such a spiritually taxing process of alchemy, especially the severe consumption of divine sense, causing a stabbing pain in his head, hadn't occurred for a long time. The reason for this was not only because the refining of the soul-returning pill was inherently difficult and Lin Jing was refining it for the first time, making him unskilled, but there was also another reason. freewebble.cm. And that reason was the pill furnace itself. Although the cloud pattern purple gold furnace is a supreme gray Dao artifact, it was only now that Lin Jing finally discovered its limitation. 7th grade elixir medicines are probably the limit of the cloud pattern purple gold furnace. If one uses the cloud pattern purple gold furnace to refine elixir medicines above the 7th grade, even if it is barely possible to refine them, the failure rate will undoubtedly increase significantly. In previous attempts at refining 7th grade elixir medicines, Lin Jing also used the cloud pattern purple gold furnace, but those medicines were either not so difficult to refine, or Lin Jing had the enhancement of divine sense strength within the alchemy room of the system space. The only time he refined the longevity life extension elixir, he had also activated the bonus attachment feature of the system space. Thus, Lin Jing had never noticed any issues with the cloud pattern purple gold furnace. Until now, Lin Jing found this batch of soul-returning pills extremely difficult to refine, and his lack of experience in this first attempt revealed the pill furnace's problems. This time, during the refinement of the soul-returning pill, because Elder Qi was nearby, and after the refinement was completed, Elder Qi wanted to know some of Lin Jing's experiences during the process. Lin Jing did not use the bonus attachment feature of the system space throughout the refinement process and relied on his actual alchemy level. It was precisely this first-hand experience that made Lin Jing aware of the problems with the pill furnace. Once aware of the issue, Lin Jing became even more cautious, fearing the slightest mishap could occur. Just like that, time ticked away, and soon another hour passed. Finally, a reaction occurred within the pill furnace. The fragrance of the elixir began to seep out from the cracks of the furnace and quickly spread throughout, filling the entire alchemy pavilion with a refreshing scent. If all went as expected, this batch of elixir furnace medicine should be a success. The appearance of the elixir fragrance indicated that the spirit plants inside the pill furnace had been completely refined, melting into medicinal liquid. The most difficult part of refining the soul-returning pill had already been safely overcome. Next, All that was needed was to solidify the medicinal liquid into pills, and then they could be removed from the furnace. At this moment, Lin Jing also perked up, focused his spiritual power, and made the colorless flame at the bottom of the furnace burn more vigorously, beginning the final step of solidifying the pills. At this time, even Elder Qi had stood up and turned his attention towards Lin Jing. In these last crucial moments, time always seems to slow down. Although it was only a matter of 2/4 of an hour, it felt as long as 4 hours. Finally, after 2/4 of an hour had passed, the batch of soul-returning pills that Lin Jing had been refining was finally complete. The soul-returning pill had finished being concocted, and Elder Qi immediately stepped forward, ready to examine the elixir medicine that Lin Jing had produced. At this moment, Lin Jing also opened the pill furnace. As soon as the pill furnace was opened, a few elixir medicines flew out from it. Before Lin Jing could get a clear look, Elder Qi had already gathered them in front of him. Seeing this, Lin Jing immediately looked to the front of Elder Qi. He saw 4 elixir medicines floating there, their bodies dark green and not very round. Even 2 of them clearly had some impurities on them. Elder Qi looked at the elixir medicine in front of him and then slowly spoke. 2 medium grade, 2 low grade. After speaking, he looked at Lin Jing with a trace of admiration in his eyes and nodded. For your first attempt at concocting the soul-returning pill, being able to produce a successful batch, and even containing 2 medium grade, is already quite commendable. Now, tell me about your experience while concocting this soul-returning pill. Lin Jing approached Elder Qi and bowed. Yes, master. Then, Lin Jing spoke. I felt that the main difficulty in concocting the soul-returning pill lay in the fusion of the elusive cold Yin flower and glowing soul immortal grass. During the process, I could continuously feel. Lin Jing subsequently shared all of his experiences while concocting the soul-returning pill with Elder Qi. He even included his sensations concerning the cloud-patterned purple gold furnace and shared those with Elder Qi as well. Elder Qi listened attentively, sometimes nodding slightly, other times frowning slightly. After a quarter of an hour had passed, Lin Jing finished speaking, and Elder Qi finally raised his head to look at Lin Jing. I understand. After he spoke, Elder Qi looked at the cloud-patterned purple gold furnace behind Lin Jing, then moved forward, approached the furnace, and began to observe it closely. After observing for a good while, Elder Qi retracted his gaze and then said to Lin Jing, "Your pill furnace is not bad, but the rank is somewhat low. If you're crafting 7th grade elixir medicines, it would be acceptable. But if you truly want to advance to an 8th grade pill master, you will need to recast this pill furnace to enhance its rank. Or you could switch to another pill furnace." Lin Jing nodded, then responded, "I understand, master. I have already started preparing regarding the issue with the pill furnace." Elder Qi looked at Lin Jing and nodded gently. "As your mentor in the Elixir Alliance, I haven't done much teaching, but I should still do something for you. If you encounter any difficulties, do not hesitate to speak up directly." Lin Jing bowed and said, "Thank you, master. I haven't encountered any problems for the time being. If I need master's help, I'll come to you." Elder Qi nodded, assenting. Then, he spoke again to Lin Jing. "All right, you can go back now. In a bit, I'm going to meet a friend, and I might not be back for a while. If anything comes up, you can go straight to the Alliance Hierarch. If it's not urgent, you can wait for my return." Lin Jing nodded and said, "Understood, master. Then, your disciple will take his leave now." Afterwards, Lin Jing packed up the cloud-patterned purple gold furnace, bid farewell again to Elder Qi, and then left the alchemy pavilion. After leaving the alchemy pavilion, Lin Jing went directly back to his cave dwelling. After Elder Qi had left, Lin Jing, as usual, spent his time engaged in alchemy. And so, more than 2 months had passed again. Finally, Senior Han had news to pass on. When Senior Han sent a message, it must surely be about the Xian Duan furnace. Upon receiving the news, Lin Jing immediately rushed to meet with Senior Han. As soon as the two met, Senior Han immediately spoke to Lin Jing. "Lin Jr. brother, there's an update regarding the Xian Duan furnace. Master has already found a way to repair the Xian Duan furnace, and now he has asked me to take you to the Xian Duan residence. Upon hearing this, Lin Jing was momentarily stunned, then asked, "Directly to the Xian Duan residence?" Senior Han nodded and said, "Yes, I'll take you directly to the Xian Duan residence, as Master has instructed." The old man of Xian Duan has always enjoyed tranquility. The location of the Xian Duan residence is also extremely mysterious, and it is unheard of for anyone to have entered the Xian Duan residence. Hence, Lin Jing was naturally surprised that the old man of Xian Duan would allow him to enter it. However, since the old man of Xian Duan had given the order, Lin Jing naturally would not decline. Then, Lin Jing asked Senior Han, "Senior Brother Han, shall we go now?" Senior Han nodded and then said, "Naturally, follow me." After speaking, Senior Han led Lin Jing, hurrying toward the city outskirts. After leaving the city of the Elixir Alliance, the two flew over the landscape, entering a dense forest in the Emperor Mountain Range. Upon arriving in the dense forest and seeing that no one was around, Senior Han took out a palm-sized array plate. Then, Senior Han placed the array plate before him, and with both hands forming seals, light immediately started flowing on the array plate, illuminating in front of them. Simultaneously, on the ground in front of Lin Jing, where the light from the array plate illuminated, a formation appeared. This formation was very well hidden, such that even though Lin Jing was already standing there, he had no inkling of it prior to its activation. As Senior Han continued forming seals and simultaneously channeling spiritual power into the array plate, that spiritual power was then transferred through the array plate into the formation in front of them. Soon, the formation fully materialized. This formation was unmistakably a small-sized teleportation array. After the teleportation array fully appeared, Senior Han then stored away the array plate and said to Lin Jing, "Let's go together." With that, Senior Han advanced first, entering the teleportation array. Seeing what happened, Lin Jing also went straight inside. After both had entered the teleportation array, Senior Han activated the array plate once more. The plate lit up, and the teleportation array started to emit a white light. The white light soon engulfed Lin Jing and Senior Han. Then, the next moment, the formation activated, and Lin Jing and Senior Han disappeared within it. After both were teleported away, the light from the formation gradually dimmed, and then the entire formation vanished and hid itself. The place to which Lin Jing had been teleported resembled the fire realm of the five elements. The temperature here was incredibly high. Besides the black rocks, the ground was densely packed with caves. Inside these caves flowed red magma, emanating scorching vapors. Upon arriving, Lin Jing immediately spotted a cluster of buildings situated at the center of a fiery volcano's crater. Looking at the buildings ahead, Lin Jing then asked, "Is that Xian Duan Manor?" Senior Han nodded and said, "Yes, that is Xian Duan Manor. My master and my fellow disciples, we've all been living here." Upon hearing this, Lin Jing nodded and then looked around at the surrounding environment before speaking again. "You must be here because of the ground flame, I suppose. I've heard that many artifact refiners choose places with ground flames." Senior Han nodded. "Exactly. The master decided to establish Xian Duan Manor here because of the ground flame. Come on, the master is waiting for us." Lin Jing nodded and then proceeded with Senior Han towards the volcano ahead. Upon reaching the mountain summit, Senior Han led the way, bringing Lin Jing to meet the elder of the Xian Duan. Upon seeing Lin Jing, the elder immediately said, "You've arrived. I found a method to repair your pill furnace." Upon hearing this, Lin Jing's eyes shone with delight. However, before Lin Jing could even speak, the elder interjected, "I haven't finished yet. Don't get excited just yet." Startled, Lin Jing then responded, "Senior, please continue." The elder continued, "Your Lin family's famed furnace was originally an innate Taoist treasure. However, after it shattered during a mishap, its innate properties also vanished. Initially, I had thought about completely restoring it, considering the pill furnace was crafted from innate materials. If it were merely fixed, causing its rank to fall, it would be a pity to reduce it to a mere Taoist treasure. Yet, after long research, I realized that no matter which method I tried, I couldn't completely restore it. Lin Jing, momentarily stunned, then said to the elder, "When I was at the Chongyun clan, Senior Chongyun had told me that if an innate Taoist treasure were damaged, it's impossible to restore its innate properties. Senior, if it is really impossible to fully restore it, fixing it into a Taoist treasure, even as a pill furnace, is acceptable too." Upon hearing this, the elder glanced at Lin Jing and couldn't help but scold. Chongyun Hong is right indeed. From what we knew, once the innate properties of innate materials are destroyed, even if they can be repaired, they end up as ordinary Taoist treasures. But who am I? If I were to simply turn your Lin family's treasure into an ordinary Taoist treasure, I wouldn't have invested so much effort. The reason I chose to help you isn't entirely because of my disciple Han Jing. Another reason is that your damaged, innate Taoist treasure pill furnace is truly a rarity of 10,000 years. Only by restoring this innate Taoist treasure pill furnace to its original state can I find it challenging and intriguing. Otherwise, I wouldn't have agreed to repair the furnace. Lin Jing gave an embarrassed smile and said, "So that's the case. Then, Senior, you mentioned earlier that you have already found a way to repair it. Doesn't that mean the pill furnace can be repaired, and even after repair, it still remains an innate Taoist treasure?" The elder nodded and said, "Yes, but also maybe not." The words of the Xian Duan elder left Lin Jing utterly bewildered. However, the Xian Duan elder soon provided an explanation. "I indeed have found a method that could help you repair the Jinghong furnace, and even grant it innate characteristics. However, after the repair, the innate characteristics of the pill furnace will no longer aid in alchemy, but will instead enhance your combat power." Upon hearing this, Lin Jing was completely dumbfounded. The pill furnace, enhancing combat power. What was going on? Could it be that the Xian Duan elder was planning to make one wield the pill furnace in battle? Indeed, there were people who used cauldrons or furnaces as magical treasures. But such magical treasures were used against enemies and were absolutely not suitable for alchemy. Moreover, since pill furnaces crucial for alchemy were extremely precious, if one were to use them in a fight and they were knocked or bumped, there would surely be an impact on the alchemy. Therefore, no one would use a pill furnace to fight against others. From the words of the Xian Duan elder, it seemed he was indeed planning to do just that. The Xian Duan elder, as if seeing through Lin Jing's thoughts, then spoke directly. "Do you think that just because it's a pill furnace, it can't be used as a magical treasure?" Lin Jing was quite straightforward and did not hide his thoughts, voicing his concerns. "Senior, using the pill furnace as a magical treasure, wouldn't that be somewhat inappropriate? After all, the pill furnace is not a real magical treasure, and even if it truly were used against an enemy, it would surely be inferior in power. Even if it could match an ordinary magical treasure in power, the pill furnace is naturally for alchemy, and if it gets damaged during battle, wouldn't that also affect the alchemy?" The Xian Duan elder heard this, snorted coldly, and then rebuked. "Such ignorance. The reason you think this way is simply because you have not heard about it, and your thoughts and ideas are constrained by your superficial knowledge. Long before the ancient era, people had already begun to attempt this. It's just that you were unaware. And after the ancient era, the reason nobody does this is due to the difficulty in finding a material suitable both as a magical treasure and as a pill furnace for artifact refining. Even if one were fortunate enough to find such rare materials, others wouldn't possibly use them for experimentation to craft a special magical treasure that could also serve as a pill furnace. Since I have this idea, I have surely considered everything, and there certainly won't be the various problems you are worrying about." Upon hearing this, Lin Jing immediately broke out in a cold sweat. Indeed, in Lin Jing's understanding, a pill furnace was just a pill furnace and a magical treasure was just a magical treasure. The two could absolutely not be discussed as if they were the same thing. Yet unexpectedly, the words of the Xian Duan elder today had given Lin Jing a sudden epiphany. Then, Lin Jing clasped his hands together and said to the Xian Duan elder, "Thank you, Senior, for enlightening me. I understand now." After speaking, Lin Jing continued to ask, "May I know how you plan to proceed, Senior?" The Xian Duan elder looked at Lin Jing and then said, "This time, instead of repairing the pill furnace, I plan to give up on repair and directly recast the pill furnace. The innate materials used in the creation of your Lin family's Jinghong furnace were quite extraordinary. So, during recasting, I intend to continue using the Jinghong furnace as the primary base, and then add in some other rare materials to recast this Jinghong furnace." Upon hearing this, Lin Jing first remained silent for a moment, then spoke. "Senior, since we are recasting the pill furnace, the materials required must also be quite extraordinary." The Xian Duan elder nodded and said, "Indeed, the Jinghong furnace itself is an innate Taoist treasure, and to recast it into a new innate Taoist treasure, the materials needed are of course extraordinary, especially considering the three most important materials: Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal, Earth Spirit Azure Gold Jade, and Void Celestial Thunderstone. These three rare materials. These materials are exceedingly rare, and to find them all will probably take quite some time." The three materials mentioned by the Xian Duan elder are not only unseen by Lin Jing, but he hadn't even heard of them. Thus, Lin Jing asked the Xian Duan elder, "Senior, these materials you speak of, I have never seen them before. May I know what they look like?" The Xian Duan elder replied, "The three materials I just mentioned are extremely precious and rare special materials. It's normal for you to have not seen them. Among the three materials, the Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal is entirely golden yellow and easy to recognize. In fact, about the Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal, I don't need to tell you much. As far as I know, there's a small piece of Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal in the treasure hall of your Elixir Alliance. When the time comes, you could go to the mission hall and take on more alchemy tasks to exchange it for contribution points." Upon hearing this, Lin Jing couldn't help but feel overjoyed and nodded continuously, saying, "The treasure hall? I will go have a look as soon as I return." The Xian Duan elder nodded and said, "This Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal is extremely precious. Even though you can exchange it for contribution points, it will likely require a significant number of them. It's good for you to go and take a look first, at least to be mentally prepared." Having said that, the Xian Duan elder continued, "The Earth Spirit Azure Gold Jade is emerald green in color. Its entire body is like precious jade, and also it has a characteristic. That is, after being forged into a magical treasure, it can harbor a soul body, serving as a host for the soul spirit. Therefore, some evil cultivators who specialize in soul spirit cultivation all desire to acquire a magical treasure made from Earth Spirit Azure Gold Jade for emergency use." After listening to the Xian Duan elder's introduction, Lin Jing immediately thought of a magical treasure he had long forgotten. It seems the material of that magical treasure was indeed, as the Xian Duan elder described, entirely emerald green, just like precious jade. The most crucial point was that, when he first saw it, there was indeed a soul spirit residing inside the magical treasure. While Lin Jing was pondering this, the Xian Duan elder had already continued to introduce the last material. This last material is called Outer Spatial Void Thunderstone. Outer Spatial Void Thunderstone is a type of extraordinary stone that only appears in the outer spatial void, entirely black and glossy with surges of lightning arcs, giving a sensation of being struck by lightning upon touch. If one's cultivation is not enough, even if they are lucky enough to encounter it, they cannot withstand the power of its lightning strikes. To collect this outer spatial void thunderstone, one's cultivation must be at least at the transcendence tribulation stage. After the Xian Duan elder finished speaking, Lin Jing spoke up. "Senior, I have a Taoist magical treasure here, and I feel its material might be the Earth Spirit Azure Gold Jade. I would like to ask for your help to look at it." Upon hearing this, the Xian Duan elder was taken aback, then immediately said, "Come, show it to me." Lin Jing then took out a gourd-shaped magical treasure from his space ring. This magical treasure was the same one he took out when he annihilated Lu Yiyuan in the Demon Clan's secret realm. From the black mist in the mouth of the gourd, Lin Jing learned that this gourd was a Taoist treasure magical treasure. Therefore, Lin Jing always carried the gourd with him and never discarded or traded it away. The only problem was, although the gourd was a Taoist treasure, Lin Jing had tried many times without success. For some reason, no matter the method, he simply could not refine and use it. As a result, the gourd was stored deep in the space ring by Lin Jing and was almost completely forgotten until the Xian Duan elder brought it up, reminding Lin Jing of its existence. Lin Jing handed over the gourd. The moment the Xian Duan elder saw the gourd, his eyes lit up, and he immediately took it. After taking the gourd, the Xian Duan elder observed it carefully and immediately said, "Earth Spirit Azure Gold Jade." Indeed, the material of this gourd Taoist treasure is Earth Spirit Azure Gold Jade. You. At this point, the Xian Duan elder looked up at Lin Jing. "This gourd is a Taoist treasure. Are you intending to smelt it for its materials?" Lin Jing nodded, then said, "Senior, I have had this gourd for quite some time, but I have always been unable to refine and use it. I strongly suspect that there is something inherently wrong with the gourd. Since it's useless as it is, it's better to smelt it directly and retrieve its materials." Hearing what Lin Jing said, the Xian Duan elder looked at the gourd in his hands once more. "I was only paying attention to its material just now, and I didn't notice anything else. Let me take a good look at this gourd to see if it really does have a problem." After speaking, the Xian Duan elder circulated his spiritual power, and immediately a red spiritual power like blazing flames surged out from his body. At the same time, Lin Jing could feel the Xian Duan elder's profound and terrifying aura. Lin Jing had felt this kind of aura before, and not just once. It was similar to the aura emitted by the Changyun clan ancestor, Yi Mingyi, and the Elixir Alliance hierarch, equally deep and terrifying. It seemed that the Xian Duan elder was also a peak Mahayana cultivator. After a thorough inspection, the Xian Duan elder withdrew his spiritual power, and his aura once again became calm. Then, the Xian Duan elder said, "You were right. This Taoist treasure has a problem, and it can no longer be used. I could repair this gourd Taoist treasure, but the repair would be troublesome, and the rare materials needed are also quite a lot. It's not worth it, and there's no need. If you smelled it, it would be just right to fill the gap for the needed Earth Spirit Azure Gold Jade for the Jinghong furnace." Lin Jing heard the words and directly spoke. "Then, I will trouble Elder to melt it down." The Xian Duan elder gently nodded and then said, "With the Heavenly Sun Soul crystal already accounted for, and once this Taoist gourd is melted down, we also won't lack the Earth Spirit Azure Gold Jade. Now, the only thing missing is that last material, the outer spatial void immortal thunderstone." At this point, the Xian Duan elder looked towards Lin Jing and continued, "The outer spatial void immortal thunderstone can only be found in the outer spatial void, and entering the outer spatial void requires at least the cultivation of the transcendence tribulation stage. With your current cultivation level, you can't even reach the outer spatial void, thus having no way to come into contact with the immortal thunderstone. Well then, I will keep an eye out for the immortal thunderstone. If I receive any information about it, I will inform you. At that time, you can find a way to exchange with others. As for now, you should figure out a way to secure the Heavenly Sun Soul crystal first." After hearing this, Lin Jing clasped his hands and bowed to the elder. "Thank you, elder. Once I return, I will immediately begin preparations and strive to exchange for the Heavenly Sun Soul crystal at the earliest. As for the outer spatial void immortal thunderstone, I will have to trouble elder to help gather information." The Xian Duan elder waved his hand, saying, "You don't need to thank me. Helping you reforge the Xiyue furnace naturally isn't without conditions. Should the reconstruction of the pill furnace be successful, I need you to agree to one thing." Upon hearing this, Lin Jing looked at the Xian Duan elder and asked, "May I know what the condition is?" "Please speak freely, elder." The Xian Duan elder gazed at Lin Jing and then spoke. "As a member of the Lin family, having received the Lin family's alchemy Dao heritage, your alchemy techniques must be extraordinary, especially those 8th or even 9th grade pure elixirs. I fear that in the entire cultivation world, only you can refine them. I don't want anything else, just that you help me refine 3 furnaces of elixir medicines during my lifetime. Would you be willing to do this?" As soon as the Xian Duan elder finished speaking, Lin Jing immediately clasped his hands and said, "Elder places too much importance on the matter. As for alchemy, anytime elder needs it, I am available to help elder refine it." Upon hearing this, the Xian Duan elder turned to Lin Jing, smiled slightly at the corner of his mouth, and said, "Regarding your affairs, Han Jing has already told me everything, and I also believe that you're not the kind of person who reneges on promises. That's enough. Your words are enough." With that, the Xian Duan elder didn't give Lin Jing any chance to respond and then hurried Lin Jing out of the place. Leaving the Xian Duan elder's place, Senior Han was waiting outside. As soon as Lin Jing came out, Senior Han quickly stepped forward to inquire about the situation. Lin Jing shared the details with Senior Han truthfully. Afterwards, Lin Jing and Senior Han held a long chat, and ultimately, with Senior Han's guidance, Lin Jing left the Xian Duan residence. After leaving the Xian Duan residence, Lin Jing returned to the inner city of the Elixir Alliance, and the first thing he did was to go to the treasure hall. At the treasure hall, after some inquiries, Lin Jing indeed found the Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal, which was placed there by the Alliance Hierarch specifically for exchange. However, most cultivators within the Alliance had powerful backers and did not dabble in the path of artifact refining. Even if their pill furnaces were accidentally damaged, their backers would provide new ones. Moreover, the Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal was not a common material, and the contribution points required for exchange were indeed substantial. The contribution points needed to exchange for the Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal amounted to a staggering 300 million. Even for standard members of the Elixir Alliance who wished to exchange, facing the 300 million contribution points, they would shy away. With these contribution points, one could even directly exchange for a pretty decent pill furnace, so why bother for just one material? Therefore, the Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal had been the treasure hall for hundreds of years without anyone using contribution points to exchange for it. Having confirmed the existence of the Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal, Lin Jing then left and returned to his abode. Before heading back, Lin Jing also specifically went to the mission hall to accept 2 missions. Next, Lin Jing would need to start diligently completing missions and accumulating contribution points for the exchange of the Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal. When a person has a stable goal, it becomes easy to overlook the passage of time. And so, time slipped by quietly for quite a while. In the blink of an eye, another 50 years had passed. And in those more than 50 years, Lin Jing spent most of his time engaged in alchemy. In this way, with the continuous daily production of elixirs, Lin Jing not only accrued a substantial amount of contribution points, but even the harvest points began to accumulate. Just then, inside the system space, Lin Jing, having just finished refining a batch of elixir medicine, heard the system prompt. Ding! System prompt. Congratulations to the host for refining a pure elixir. Reward: 100 harvest points. This batch of elixir medicine was lucky. Another pure elixir appeared. During this time, Lin Jing completed tasks for the alchemy hall and also refined spirit plants grown in the system space into elixir medicine. And he exchanged all these elixir medicines for harvest points. Due to the system space upgrade requiring so many harvest points, if Lin Jing didn't find a way to maximize his harvest points, the upgrade of the system space would become very slow. Luckily, inside the system space, the flow of time was several times faster than the outside world. Lin Jing took advantage of this time differential to not only complete tasks from the alchemy hall, but also refine other elixir medicines to gain harvest points for upgrading the space. This approach indeed proved effective. After decades of continuous alchemy, Lin Jing finally advanced to become an 8th grade alchemist. Yes, the harvest points needed for the system space upgrade hadn't been fully accumulated yet, but the proficiency gained during the refining of Elixir had already reached the required amount, allowing Lin Jing's alchemist grade to be raised by 1 level. He had entered the ranks of 8th grade alchemists. Apart from the Grand Elder Bai and the Alliance Hierarch, all the other elders of the Elixir Alliance were 8th grade alchemists. And now, Lin Jing too had entered their ranks. He was on par with the other elders. An 8th grade alchemist could directly apply for an assessment and upon passing, become an elder of the Elixir Alliance. Within the entire Elixir Alliance, aside from the Grand Elder and the Hierarch, there were only 8 elders. If Lin Jing passed the assessment, he would be the 9th elder of the Elixir Alliance. Only, Lin Jing was currently focused solely on alchemy and had yet to inform anyone of his advancement to 8th grade alchemist, even now. At this moment, having finished refining the elixir medicine, Lin Jing opened the pill furnace and collected the other elixirs meant for completing tasks. As for that pure elixir, Lin Jing stored it in a pure jade box. Afterward, Lin Jing opened the system panel to inspect his current information. System space, level 8. Remaining time, 216 hours. Accumulatable, 800 hours. Host, Lin Jing. Spirit field size, 115, 80 plus 35 acres. Spiritual energy density, 8. Flow of time speed, 8. Daily entry time, 12 hours full. Upgrade requirement, 1985272/2000000 harvest points. Special functions, alert mode, observation, fixed point teleportation, time accumulation. After this period of continuous alchemy, Lin Jing's harvest points had finally accumulated to 1.985 million, just shy of 2 million harvest points required to upgrade to level 9 system space. He would need but a few months to gather enough harvest points to continue upgrading the system space. After reviewing the basic information on the system panel, Lin Jing then opened his personal information to inspect it. Lin Jing, 247/5000. Spiritual root. 5 elements spiritual root, supreme grade. Cultivation. Dao integration peak, 98%. Cultivation techniques. Immortal Dao, 5 elements technique, 5 elements divine art. Ling Yin imperial sword technique, divine fire, triple realm. Suboccupation. 8th grade alchemist, 599572/5000000. Although Lin Jing spent most of his time on alchemy and neglected his cultivation, with the help of the 1/4 ascension pill that the Lin family's ancestor had injected into his body, Lin Jing still managed to break through to the peak of Dao integration. He estimated that he would soon have to face the heavenly tribulation. Moreover, even after boosting Lin Jing's cultivation to the peak of the Dao integration, that ascension pill had hardly been consumed. Lin Jing estimated that this 1/4 of the ascension pill could directly push his cultivation into the Mahayana realm. After perusing the information, Lin Jing closed the system panel and then left the system space. Upon exiting the system space, Lin Jing had initially planned to continue to the mission hall to return the task he had completed. But before he could set off, a presence arrived. Lin Jing looked up and saw a figure speeding towards his cave abode. This figure moved swiftly, reaching the valley where Lin Jing's cave abode was located in the blink of an eye. It was then that Lin Jing could see clearly. It turned out that the visitor was none other than Elder Qi. Elder Qi usually secluded himself to research elixir recipes and would hardly ever visit Lin Jing. Even if there was something important, he would only send a message. His personal visit today took Lin Jing by surprise. After Elder Qi arrived, he descended directly near Lin Jing's cave abode. Seeing this, Lin Jing hurriedly went to greet him. "Master, what brings you here in person today?" Elder Qi looked at Lin Jing and then spoke. I just came out of seclusion yesterday and went to see the Alliance Hierarch. We talked for a whole day, and somehow the conversation turned to you, so I decided to come and see you. Upon hearing this, Lin Jing couldn't help but feel astonished. The Elixir Alliance Hierarch found Elder Qi to be quite a headache and would not seek him out unless it was absolutely necessary. Now, he had actually talked with Elder Qi for a whole day, which was indeed odd. Lin Jing also didn't understand why their conversation would revolve around him. After speaking, Elder Qi then looked towards Lin Jing's cave abode and said, "This cave abode has an excellent location, truly peaceful. Before I was promoted to an elder, the cave abode I chose was the one you reside in now. It seems you and I share the same liking for tranquility." Upon hearing this, Lin Jing responded with a bow. Disciple often engages in alchemy, and during those times I cannot be disturbed, so when choosing a cave abode, I often pick those places where people are scarce and extremely quiet. When I originally chose a cave abode, this one was the most secluded, so I picked it. Elder Qi nodded and said, "Good. Not to mention anything else in the aspect of choosing a cave abode. Your thoughts coincide with mine." Lin Jing then spoke up, addressing Elder Qi. "Master, you must have something on your mind for this visit. How about we go inside the cave abode? I will brew a pot of tea, and we can chat while we drink." Elder Qi nodded in agreement. "That would be nice. Master, please." As Elder Qi finished speaking, Lin Jing led him into the cave abode. Once they reached the main hall of the cave abode, Lin Jing arranged for Elder Qi to be seated and, after some bustling about, brewed some spiritual tea. He then poured a full cup and placed it in front of Elder Qi. Elder Qi picked up the teacup, sipped a little, set the cup down, and then looked at Lin Jing before starting to speak. "I didn't know until I came out of seclusion yesterday and met with the Alliance Hierarch that both your junior brother and sister have become 7th grade alchemists." Lin Jing nodded and said, "Yes, Master. My junior brother and sister have been very diligent and have both made a breakthrough to 7th grade alchemists not long ago." Elder Qi heard this and looked towards Lin Jing, saying, "All of this is thanks to you. It's quite embarrassing to say, but as your nominal master, I have always been secluding myself and haven't truly taught you anything." Indeed, in the time since Lin Jing and his peers had become disciples of Elder Qi, the elder spent most of his time secluded, researching elixir recipes, and rarely emerged. As for their guidance, Lin Jing and Chongyun Yuanlei each had their own legacy and needed no teaching, while Xiyue also went to Lin Jing because of the elixir scripture, eliminating the need to trouble Elder Qi. Speaking honestly, Elder Qi hadn't really instructed them much. Even though Elder Qi had never taught them, Lin Jing was extremely content with this arrangement. Having been in the Elixir Alliance for many years, Lin Jing had some understanding of the disciples under other elders. While the disciples of other elders received guidance from time to time, they were not as free. There were many areas within the Elixir Alliance that needed to be supervised, and a lot of this responsibility fell on disciples like Lin Jing. From time to time, there were also important tasks within the Elixir Alliance that required arrangement and execution. Naturally, the disciples of those elders were the first choices. However, things were different with Elder Qi. Because of Elder Qi's nature, even if there were tasks within the Elixir Alliance, the Alliance Hierarch would first tend to disregard them. As a result, Elder Qi's 3 disciples, including Lin Jing, were directly overlooked. 3 more or 3 fewer made no difference to the Alliance. But if there were tasks to be done, the first one to be contacted would naturally be Elder Qi. The last person the Elixir Alliance Hierarch wanted to face was Elder Qi, and he would rather handle the tasks himself than disturb Elder Qi over trivial matters. Moreover, the other elders seemed to share the same attitude as the Alliance Hierarch, seldom interacting with Elder Qi and thus naturally ignoring Lin Jing and his peers. With that, Lin Jing and his companions became the most carefree within the entire Elixir Alliance. As soon as Elder Qi finished speaking, Lin Jing promptly said, "Master, you need not worry. We 3 each have our own legacy, and there's no need to trouble you for the time being." But just as he was saying this, Elder Qi interrupted him. I've already spoken to the Alliance Hierarch about this matter. The other elders already have quite a few people under them, and it wouldn't be right to trouble them further. You three will remain under my tutelage for now, but once a new elder appears, you will be transferred under his mentorship. As for me, I'm still not suited to take on disciples. In the future, I will continue to focus on my elixir recipes. Upon hearing this, Lin Jing immediately fell silent. It seems that this must be the matter discussed between Elder Qi and the Elixir Alliance Hierarch. At that moment, Elder Qi looked at Lin Jing and suddenly said, I talked a lot with the Alliance Hierarch yesterday, and you also came up in our conversation. As the Lin family heir, with the Lin family's heritage, and your alchemic talent is also exceedingly exceptional. Both the Alliance Hierarch and I believe that you are the most likely to advance to an 8th grade alchemist and become the 9th elder of the Elixir Alliance. The Alliance Hierarch is also very concerned about you. Furthermore, I heard from the Alliance Hierarch that recently you have been tirelessly completing alchemy hall missions, accumulating contribution points. Could it be that you've encountered some issue? If there's anything, just tell me directly. After all, I am still your mentor. If it's within my power, I will help you resolve it. Lin Jing was silent for a moment, and then he spoke. To be frank with you, Master, actually, I've had a premonition recently that I should be close to making a breakthrough to an 8th grade alchemist. Lin Jing didn't reveal that he was already an 8th grade alchemist, as his advance to 8th grade was achieved with the help of system space, and he had not yet concocted any 8th grade elixir medicines. Such a matter, if spoken aloud, would be far too astonishing. Therefore, it was best to keep it to himself for the time being. Upon hearing this, Elder Qi's lips immediately turned up in a smile. Just as we thought, we weren't wrong. Then, Lin Jing continued, and the reason I've been accumulating harvest points is to exchange for a material in the treasure hall, in order to create a new pill furnace. A pill furnace. After hearing this, Elder Qi nodded and then said, Indeed, the one you had before is certainly no longer sufficient. Once you advance to an 8th grade alchemist, that pill furnace will be thoroughly obsolete. May I ask what material you plan to exchange for? Lin Jing replied, The Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal from the treasure hall. After hearing this, Elder Qi furrowed his brows in thought and then said, The Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal. If I remember correctly, that is one of the top materials for artifact refining, requiring a substantial amount of contribution points to exchange. Lin Jing nodded in agreement and said, To exchange for the Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal requires 3 billion contribution points. After hearing this, Elder Qi looked at Lin Jing and asked again, How many contribution points have you saved up so far? I've already accrued 1.6 billion. I'm not even halfway to exchanging for that Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal, said Lin Jing. Once Lin Jing had finished speaking, Elder Qi said, As your mentor, I've not really fulfilled my teaching responsibilities. Well then, the harvest points you're missing, I'll provide them for you. This is the only thing I, as your mentor, can do for you now. Upon hearing this, Lin Jing didn't refuse, but promptly clasped his hands together and thanked Elder Qi. Thank you, Master. Elder Qi gave a gentle nod and then spoke again. Crafting a pill furnace is not just about one single material. Do you need anything else? I can exchange those for you too. After all, I still have plenty of contribution points, enough to exchange for several types of materials. Lin Jing replied, No need, Master. Most of the other materials needed for the pill furnace are already gathered, and for those not yet collected, I already know where to procure them. Now I'm just missing the final material. However, this last material is extremely rare, and I haven't found it yet. Upon hearing this, Elder Qi asked with curiosity, What is this last material you lack? The Void Celestial Thunder Stone. Lin Jing said directly. But as soon as Lin Jing spoke, Elder Qi's brow furrowed. Void Celestial Thunder Stone. I have heard of it. It is a kind of rare exotic stone that only appears in the outer spatial void. Indeed, extremely scarce. Our Elixir Alliance currently indeed does not possess it. Having said that, Elder Qi looked towards Lin Jing, unable to hide his confusion, and said, Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal, Void, Celestial Thunderstone. These are those extremely hard to find, top-tier artifact crafting materials. What exactly is the pill furnace you wish to craft? Lin Jing paused for a moment before responding. I do not wish to deceive you, Master, but actually I am not crafting a pill furnace, but rather reforging one. Our Lin family's Jingshan furnace was shattered due to certain reasons a millennia ago, and I need these materials to reforge the Jingshan furnace. Upon hearing this, Elder Qi suddenly understood. So that's how it is. The Lin family's Jingshan furnace, if you wish to reforge it, naturally requires extraordinary materials. Just as Elder Qi finished speaking, he immediately continued, cautioning Lin Jing. The number of artifact refiners capable of repairing your Lin family's Jingshan furnace is extremely few. You must be careful not to choose the wrong person. Lin Jing nodded and said, Rest assured, Master, I understand this. The one who will help me repair the pill furnace is none other than the Celestial Forging Elder. Upon hearing this, Elder Qi gave Lin Jing a meaningful look. It seems you had quite a lot of knowledge about this beforehand. Since that is the case, I will not ask further, as long as you are aware of what to do. As for the Void Celestial Thunderstone, the Elixir Alliance currently really does not have it. I will help you keep an eye out for it, and if there is news, I will inform you. Many thanks, Master, Lin Jing said with a bow. Elder Qi waved his hand, indicating it was nothing. Afterward, Elder Qi and Lin Jing talked about many things, until at last Elder Qi revealed the purpose of his visit. It turned out that Elder Qi was about to leave to aid a friend in alchemy. This departure was likely to take a good while before he could return. His visit to Lin Jing this time was to inform him of this matter, and now that he had finished, Elder Qi was ready to leave. Then, he took Lin Jing with him, flying towards the inner city of the Elixir Alliance. The two of them first arrived at the treasure hall, where with Elder Qi's help, Lin Jing successfully obtained the Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal. Having helped Lin Jing obtain the Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal, Elder Qi did not stay any longer, leaving directly. After Elder Qi's departure, Lin Jing did not delay, immediately contacting Senior Han, and then, under Senior Han's guidance, took the Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal to the Celestial Forging Mansion. Upon reaching the Celestial Forging Mansion, Lin Jing handed over the Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal to the Celestial Forging Elder, who was surprised to see Lin Jing had obtained it so quickly. Lin Jing then explained to the Celestial Forging Elder, who finally understood. Afterward, the Celestial Forging Elder told Lin Jing that he still had not located the Void Celestial Thunderstone, and it would take some more time for him to wait. Knowing this, Lin Jing couldn't help feeling somewhat disappointed. However, Lin Jing then came to terms with it. After all, the Void Celestial Thunderstone only appeared in the outer spatial void. Encountering it was incredibly unlikely, and even if one were lucky enough to find it, it would not be easy to obtain. Naturally, it would not be easy to find. If he couldn't find it, he could only continue to wait. Time always flies quickly. In the blink of an eye, Elder Qi had been gone for a month. After Elder Qi's departure, Lin Jing's life seemed to carry on as usual. It's just that he took on fewer missions. With the Heavenly Sun Soul Crystal in hand, Lin Jing's need for contribution points was not as high. Taking advantage of this time, Lin Jing could indeed relax and rest a bit. And then he could also casually seek out information about the Void Celestial Thunderstone. Unfortunately, although Lin Jing tried all means to seek out information, so far he had not heard anything about the Void Celestial Thunderstone. Until this day, when a turning point finally arrived. Today, Lin Jing had just left the mission hall and returned to his dwelling, only to see a floating white light in front of it. Lin Jing approached, walking up to the door of the dwelling. Only after getting close did he realize that the aura within the white light was the same as Elder Qi's. It seemed that this white light was indeed from Elder Qi. Lin Jing stepped forward, wanting to see what this white light truly was. However, the white light, sensing Lin Jing's approach, scattered immediately, transforming into a divine sense voice transmission that entered Lin Jing's consciousness. Hurry to Xiyue family in East Continent. There is news of the void celestial thunderstone. In the East Continent's Xiyue family, Lin Jing stood in shock upon hearing the news. The Xiyue family. That's the family Xian belonged to. Ever since joining the Elixir Alliance in the Eastern Spirit Realm, Lin Jing had been inquiring about the possibility of repairing the Lin family's pill furnace, and he had never left the Elixir Alliance. As for the Xiyue family, Lin Jing had also asked about them before. They were located in the northwest region of the Eastern Spirit Realm, quite a distance from the city of the Elixir Alliance. Therefore, Lin Jing had temporarily abandoned the idea of going to the Xiyue family. He also wondered how Xian's grandfather's trip to the outer spatial void to find a cure for Xian had turned out, and whether Xian had recovered or not. Originally, Lin Jing had considered visiting the Xiyue family in the northwest of the Eastern Spirit Realm by himself after the pill furnace was fixed when he had some free time. However, he hadn't expected Elder Qi to suddenly bring news for him to visit the Xiyue family, mentioning information about void celestial thunderstones. This made Lin Jing can't help but wonder, what exactly was the relationship between Elder Qi and the Xiyue family? And his last departure, when he said he was helping a friend with alchemy, was that also related to the Xiyue family? All this, Lin Jing did not know. Elder Qi hadn't said, and although Lin Jing had his suspicions, he couldn't be certain. The best course of action was naturally to go to the Xiyue family in person. Once he got to the Xiyue family, everything would become clear. After pondering, Lin Jing did not enter the cave dwelling, but instead left directly and headed towards the dwellings of Xiyue and Yuanlei. With Elder Qi absent and his own impending departure, he certainly had to inform the two of them. He first arrived at Xiyue's cave dwelling. When Lin Jing arrived, Xiyue happened to be free, so Lin Jing simply explained the situation and then, taking Xiyue with him, they went to Yuanlei's cave dwelling. They quickly reached Yuanlei's cave dwelling. Yuanlei was surprised to see them and then quickly welcomed them inside. Upon entering the cave dwelling, Yuanlei was the first to speak to Lin Jing. Brother Lin, the alchemy conference is just 1 year away, and it'll be attended by talents from many sects, as well as cultivators with astonishing alchemic talent. My sister, along with brother-in-law Lu and the others, definitely cannot miss this grand event. We will be able to meet again then. Lin Jing nodded, then said, Since we parted, it's already been decades. I wonder how they are now. About the struggle in the inner sea, last time you said you'd look into it. Have you found out anything? At this, Yuanlei hurriedly spoke. Brother Lin, I was just about to tell you that. Not long ago, my grandfather sent word that the conflict in the inner sea is about to come to an end. Moreover, my grandfather said that after the conflict is over, our ancestor seems to be planning to visit the Elixir Alliance. The struggle in the inner sea is coming to an end. Lin Jing muttered to himself. The struggle in the inner sea involved 3 top forces, and ending it was not an easy task. Now, after decades of conflict among the 3 major powers, it was finally coming to an end. Lin Jing then looked at Yuanlei and asked, Considering your grandfather mentioned this, it seems the Changyun clan is winning this struggle. Yuanlei said, Perhaps, but the message my grandfather sent didn't discuss this matter. Lin Jing nodded. Then, Yuanlei asked, By the way, Brother Lin, did you come to find me for a reason? Lin Jing nodded, saying, There is something. I will need to leave the Elixir Alliance for a while to go to the northwest of the East Continent, to the Xiyue family there. Upon hearing this, Yuanlei was stunned, then asked in confusion, Brother Lin, why do you suddenly want to visit the Xiyue family? Lin Jing explained, You guys must know that I've been trying to find a way to repair the pill furnace of our Lin family all this time. Elder Qi sent me a message this time, telling me to make a trip to the Xiyue family, saying that there's news about that last material I've been lacking. That's why I have to make the trip myself. So that's how it is. Yuanlei suddenly understood. In that case, you must certainly make the trip to the Xiyue family. Lin Jing nodded, then continued. That's why I came to tell you both. At this moment, Chanyun Yuanlei asked Lin Jing, "Brother Lin, how long will you be at the Shi family?" Lin Jing thought for a moment, then answered, "That's unclear the moment. If nothing unexpected happens, it shouldn't be for long. If something changes and I cannot return in time, you can just tell Brother Lu and your sister about where I went when they arrive." After hearing this, Chanyun Yuanlei nodded and said, "All right, Brother Lin." Having arranged everything, Lin Jing left the Elixir Alliance the next day and set off for the Shi family. The Shi family was located in the northwest region of the Eastern Spirit Realm, and it was the most powerful clan in that entire region. The strength of the Shi family was not in their numbers. Altogether, the Shi family only consisted of a few dozen people, yet each member possessed extraordinary strength. As such, hardly anyone in the northwest region of the Eastern Spirit Realm dared to provoke the Shi family. But there were always exceptions. Even a powerful family like the Shi family had enemies. Their relationship with these adversaries was irreconcilable. The enemy had even set up an ambush that targeted the most talented of the younger generation in the Shi family. This was the father of Xian. In that ambush, both Xian's father and mother perished on the spot, and even Xian himself was theoretically dead from the moment he was born. It was Grandpa Xian who got the news and arrived later, using the heaven-deceiving secret art to barely save Xian. When the Shi family was ambushed in the Eastern Spirit Realm, it caused quite a stir, and naturally, the Shi family did not just sit by. They fought back fiercely. They caused heavy losses to the hostile forces, forcing them to retreat from the East Continent and disappear from then on. By the time Lin Jing arrived at the Shi family, 2 months had already passed. The area of the Eastern Spirit Realm was simply too vast. Even with Lin Jing's speed, it still took him 2 months. After all, this time Lin Jing was traveling from the Far East region, where the Elixir Alliance was located, to the northwest region where the Shi family resided, nearly spanning the entire Eastern Spirit Realm. The long journey naturally took a continuous stretch of time. Moreover, this was under the circumstance of continuously using teleportation arrays to travel. Without them, it might have taken dozens of years for Lin Jing to reach the Shi family. The Shi family was situated on a desolate mountain. The entire mountain was flattened by the Shi family, forming what is now known as the Shi family estate. Lin Jing arrived at the foot of the mountain where the Shi family's desolate mountain was located and looked up. The clouds above were swirling, obscuring any visibility. These were not ordinary clouds, but a defense array that the Shi family had expended enormous effort to construct. This array was extremely formidable. Not only was its defense astonishing, but it could even block the divine sense explorations of peak Mahayana cultivators. After observing for a while, Lin Jing did not see anyone else at the foot of the mountain. Thus, Lin Jing directly stepped forward, heading towards the mountain. But as soon as Lin Jing stepped into the range of the desolate mountain, he felt a wave of divine sense sweeping over him, and then he was locked in by a force. Following that, came a voice from ahead. "Who dares to trespass onto the Shi family's property?" With this voice, a figure flew down from the mountain ahead and then arrived in front of Lin Jing. The figure was a middle-aged man in a gray robe, his aura fluttering his robe noisily. The cultivation aura of this middle-aged man was very formidable, at least at the mid-stage level of tribulation. At this time, his expression was devoid of any emotion, his gaze cold as he looked at Lin Jing, seemingly very unwelcoming towards Lin Jing, this intruder, as if he might strike out at any moment. Facing this middle-aged man, Lin Jing did not hide his intentions, but directly stated his purpose. "Esteemed Senior, I am a disciple of Elder Qi from the Elixir Alliance, specifically ordered by my master to come to the Shi family." A disciple of Elder Qi from the Elixir Alliance? The middle-aged man's eyes sparkled upon hearing this. He first assessed Lin Jing and then spoke. "If you say you are a disciple of Elder Qi from the Elixir Alliance, do you have any proof?" Upon hearing this, Lin Jing was momentarily stunned and then said, "Proof? It seems I really don't have any, but I do have an identity token from the Elixir Alliance." Elder Qi, often engrossed in studying elixir recipes, generally left his disciples to their own devices, naturally leaving behind no particular proof. After hearing this, the middle-aged man couldn't help but scoff and then said, "Heh, with so many people in the whole Elixir Alliance, what's so special about an identity token? If you don't have anything to prove your relationship with Elder Qi, then leave as soon as possible and come back after you get the proof." After saying this, the middle-aged man's gaze became sharper, his aura even more imposing, pressuring Lin Jing. This middle-aged man, it seemed, had a particular prejudice against Lin Jing, as if specifically targeting him. It was Lin Jing's first time coming to the Shi family, and he had never met this middle-aged man of the Shi family before, so he wondered why he would act like this. Lin Jing fell silent for a moment, and then spoke. "I indeed do not have any token given by Elder Qi. However, I do have another item, which might serve as proof." Upon hearing this, the middle-aged man's expression instantly turned solemn, and he said coldly, "You just said you had nothing, and now you suddenly change your story. Aren't you playing games with me?" Lin Jing did not bother to argue further, but took out a stone token from his space ring. This token, which was given to him by Grandpa Xian after he had passed his divinity transformation heavenly tribulation. Although he did not have a token from Elder Qi, he did have a token left by Grandpa Xian, whose cultivation was undoubtedly esteemed within the Shi family. And the token he had given him was most likely a kind of proof. No sooner had Lin Jing taken out the stone token than something unexpected happened. The moment the token was exposed, it immediately emitted a strong glow, and along with this glow, the token left Lin Jing's palm and swiftly flew upwards. Seeing this, Lin Jing was somewhat bewildered. Lin Jing, facing the middle-aged man, saw his expression change abruptly when he spotted the Shi token, and he immediately turned his head toward Lin Jing and said, "The Shi family's Shi token. Who exactly are you? Why do you have the Shi token in your possession?" However, before Lin Jing could answer, the Shi token had already crossed the barren mountain and flown above the Shi family. There, in the sky above the Shi family, it erupted into an extremely dazzling light, throwing the entire Shi family into chaos. In an instant, disturbances began within the entire Shi family. In no time, several extremely terrifying presences emanated from the Shi family. Witnessing this scene, the middle-aged man's face dramatically changed, and he looked behind him toward the barren mountain, unable to help but exclaim, "Terrible! This is the end!" Just then, 3 figures directly appeared above the 2 men. Lin Jing looked up, only to see 3 elders above them, each radiating an extremely formidable aura. Under such auras, Lin Jing felt as if he was truly ant-like. All 3 elders were in the Mahayana realm. Moreover, Lin Jing recognized the elder in the middle. It was Elder Xian. Upon seeing Lin Jing, Elder Xian also couldn't help being surprised. "Ah, it's you." Lin Jing hurriedly bowed to Elder Xian and said, "I've seen the elder." At this moment, Elder Xian descended from midair, and the other 2 elders followed suit, landing in front of Lin Jing. It was only then that Elder Xian introduced him to the other 2. "This is the one I have told you about, whom we met in the Nanming domain, the master of Tian." Hearing this, the 2 also showed an interested expression and sized Lin Jing up. Upon hearing this, the middle-aged man immediately lowered his head, not daring to raise it again. At this moment, Elder Xian was already looking at the Shi token in the sky. Following that, Elder Xian stretched out his hand, and the Shi token flew directly into his hand. Afterwards, the bright light emitted by the Shi token also dissipated. The 2 Mahayana realm elders, after sizing up Lin Jing, one of them then spoke. "This young kid, his cultivation is not low at all. Didn't you say before that Tian's master had just reached divinity transformation?" At this time, Elder Xian also couldn't help but look at Lin Jing, and after observing him, he also expressed surprise. "Dao integration peak. How long has it been?" "You have already reached the peak of Dao integration." Such a rate of cultivation improvement is unheard of. Lin Jing then replied, Elder sure. After parting with the elder, I encountered several opportunities and obtained not a small fortune, which is why my cultivation was able to advance this quickly. Elder Xian nodded, then asked Lin Jing, You've come to my Sure family and even produced the Sure token. Could it be that you've encountered some trouble? Upon hearing Elder Xian ask this, the middle-aged man trembled slightly. But the attention of Elder Xian and the others was entirely on Lin Jing, seemingly unaware of this man's slight movement. Lin Jing shook his head and said, Elder I have joined the Elixir Alliance and am now a disciple of Elder Qi. I came here because I received a message from my master. As for showing the Sure token, it was only to verify my identity. I did not know the Sure token had such an effect. I'm very sorry to have disturbed the elders. Elder Xian nodded gently. He then turned around, looked at the middle-aged man of the Sure family, and his eyes showed a hint of anger. A disciple of Elder Qi comes to my Sure family, yet he needs to prove his identity. Sure Jianxing, I need you to give me an explanation.